like what you get on level up and what has
Hello.
an extra dot. Ooh,
Hello.
hello.
I think we're just waiting on Jazz to join here. Everyone, don't forget. What's going on with the view?
Black.
Suspenseful. Ah, that's the wrong one.
Advanced darkness. You could say
Black.
it's dark and darker.
Was the wrong view. Spoiler alert, I guess. There's another floor.
We already knew there was another floor.
Ah. Spoiler alert, there's music.
What?
I selected the wrong window twice in a row. This has never happened before.
Professional streamer.
I'm honestly more impressed than anything that I've not once made this mistake until just now. Because they both say Aether Pilgrims Foundry, so... There goes the unbroken streak.
Okay, we're on a new streak of 3 weeks of playing in a row.
That's true.
And next week we're gonna break that.
Are we?
Yes.
I thought 22nd was
Yeah, that's I'm going to be away.
Alright. Let's wrap up this battle then. Let's get through the dungeon.
Yeah.
I believe we're just waiting on Jazz to join the Foundry, and then we can begin. We are going to be doing a group recap on account of this is a dungeon with ongoing information, and I do not want to accidentally let slip something that I shouldn't. Which is very easy to do when you're a DM and you know everything about this dungeon.
True.
So I'm going to say as little as possible as to avoid screwing everyone over here. Once we've all arrived, that is. Also, don't forget to say something in the chat to stamp your card. As I've said before, if you get 10 stamps, you get a mint frog. I'm going to let everyone, actually.
A mint frog.
Yeah, a mint frog.
How much dust is a mint frog worth?
I believe you mean how many pod coin.
Either or.
Yeah, that's the new promo that we're doing involves the mint frogs in the chat.
I'm about to post a picture in the Discord that's really weird. It's like the veins in the hand, or like of a yo-yo master, and you can noticeably see like he's basically killed all the veins in his index finger.
Yo-yoing so much.
That's crazy.
The moral of the story is never purchase or use yo-yos.
Yeah, we should ban those. Like we did lawn darts. I mean, just ban all the toys from the 80s.
It's like English longbowmen having messed up skeletons.
Yeah, like what is it like? There's thicker bones in the forearm.
I think it was their shoulders were like really messed up.
Shoulders and spine, I think.
Yo, Nero's got a stamp. Let's go. Nero's on the board with a stamp.
+1 stamp.
Everyone's filling in their cards. They're trying to get the mint frogs.
People that miss out are going to be so sad.
Probably.
Well, don't mind me, everyone. I'm actually enjoying
Hats.
this downtime to put icons on things.
Hats, you have the Vest of Courage on your sheet, right?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I've got it. Let me see my sheet.
Because I'm gonna delete it from mine if you.
I don't
Like-
think I do.
It's like you just create an item, call it the Vest of Courage, and then put that it gives you +1d once per session when you're feeling nervous. Like it's not an actual item; it's just a custom
Yep.
description.
Let me. Vest of Courage. Description. Once per session. +1d on a roll.
When you're nervous. Or something like that.
Which is all the time.
But no,
That's his
you're right.
secret.
That is.
That's the secret. He's always nervous.
Imagine, like, Chapter 3 Dougal is the most confident person in all of Aether Pilgrims.
Well, mission successful then.
Hazelnut is sitting in Cashew's normal window spot, and now he's just looking at me like, "Are you gonna do something about this?" No, Cashew, I'm not. Come here. Oh, you're so cute. Is Jazz setting something up? I mean, he's in the Discord.
Been here the whole time. He just hasn't said anything or done anything. He just unmuted, but I can't hear him.
Hello?
Hello.
There you
Hey,
go.
I'm here.
Alright, welcome. Once everyone has assembled in the foundry, I'll get to work on playing the recap music, but we will be doing a group on account of this is an ongoing dungeon with many mysteries still happening. And I have perfect information, whereas you do not. So in order to preserve the mystery, this will be a group
Oh,
recap.
yeah? If you get perfect information, what is Oven thinking right now?
The game's paused, so he's not actually thinking anything.
Ah, alright. You do have perfect information.
Right now, time has stopped.
It looks like we've all assembled.
I'll form the head.
Are we doing a Yu-Gi-Oh thing?
Alright.
That's combining robot thing.
Is that like Voltron? I don't know what Voltron is.
I don't know. I never watched the original Voltron, so I don't know if that's specifically a reference to that. I haven't
Alright.
watched the remake either, so I don't know why I specified.
So everyone, describe how we got to where we are right now.
Well, we entered the desert for the first time, and after checking 2 cactuses, one of which having treasure, the other which having not, we made it to the oasis, where we found crystal clear water infused with ether, and within that crystal clear water there was an illusory wall that we expertly swam up to and fell through. And then we were in the dungeon.
We
Right
haven't
on.
seen the main entranceway, have we?
No? I could keep going.
Let's pass it off to someone else. Hats,
Alright.
what happened in this dungeon?
Okay. After definitely not almost drowning, we made it into the dungeon, found a statue of an orc from history that none of us recognized. We went another direction, and Oven nearly drowned himself again, trying to rip a trapped, burning chest out of the water. But he managed it and caught the attention of the people who had set that trap.
From Tutheria.
Tutherians, yes, thank you. I can remember names of places. No, I can't. That's a lie.
Working to remember as you spoke.
There was a tussle with the defenders of the Tutherian research squad, but it worked out in the party's favor, and the coward researchers agreed to give us a tour through their section of research into this temple to a crashed, basically, spaceship. I will pass it off. Sorry, who had it last?
It was Blix.
Strike.
They told us that this place was very dangerous and had many traps, and that they had not gone very far into it yet. They were right. It was full of traps. One trap here tried to take control of Owen's mind, but he was much too resolute in his self-confidence for that to ever work. And we found out that that's what revealed... it opened up mechanisms, like in the statue of the orc that we didn't recognize was... inside the chest of it was a relic, a powerful relic. And then this room over here, they told us was... don't even bother going into, they didn't know what it did. It was too dangerous. Well, of course, Owen continued his belligerent attempt to get through everything. Figured out how it worked, and it triggered a lightning trap, which blasted open the wall down to the bottom, revealing a hidden room and chest, which had another relic. After that, Dougal, having had enough of almost dying to Owen flipping everything off, decided to take a more practiced approach to this door, which was heavily enchanted and locked. And he managed to actually do it safely and disable it without setting anything off, revealing what was in this room, which I'll give to Jazz to tell us about.
Safely. Did you mention Dougal getting a relic from the chest down here?
I didn't specify what the relics were, but if you want to,
cool.
go for it.
Oh yeah, Dougal got a relic as well from down here.
Yes.
We went to the room to the east, and in there were notes left by Vanille, who we met earlier. He was the really super tall elf. We're talking about Brykewin. In it, there were notes about the prior denizens of the spaceship that we're currently in. He called them the Harbingers, and it seemed like he was also working with the Tutherian military. He has a quote specifically calling them out, saying, "To members of the Tutherian military, please leave these notes intact. Our continued cooperation is to our mutual agreement." He mentioned that this ship's called the Reality, and it crash landed in Hinklia as a part of the battle in Heaven. This segue to a lore drop from Pog that the other planes in Luskalia are their planets, and we're in a geocentric system, not a solar system. Or I guess solar centric. I don't know. It's called heliocentric. That's what it's called. We flew back into Noom. It caused a crater. Vanille found this place while trying to locate all the terrestrial bodies. 2 Harbingers have escaped. There's one that remains guarding the ship. All the other Harbingers that were on board are dead, presumably, other than those 3. There is a limiter. Releasing that would jeopardize his mission, apparently. I forgot what the limiter was. The Harbinger names are Siberius Faxt, Ara Arnaud, Motfell, which is the librarian at Mistfell Polymagic, and they are related to the accursed Firafel, which is another Harbinger. What else is there?
Does that mean the place we're in right now is a spaceship?
I believe so, yeah. This is the Reality, the UFO. On the west, there's a trap door, and going down there, the Tutherians told us there's like 1 million zombies, like a ton of zombies, and that's where a lot of the dungeon crawling will start, I suspect. I think, is there anything I left out? Oh yeah, Vanille mentioned a star map in his notes. He said, though it won't advance our goals on where the star map leads, there is more to be found here. So there's something important potentially here. But it's not the star map, which is what Vanille wants. Does anyone think I missed anything?
Nope. That was very good.
Very
A lot of
good.
stuff I
Sounds
didn't
good to
have
me.
down.
All right. So, with that, if everyone could just introduce themselves, we can begin.
Let's go in the same order. I'm Blix. I'm playing Zephyr, an Air Genasi cleric of Noom. He's an old dude going out into the world to do good things. Go to Hats.
Hey, I play Dougal, the wizard who, as we have said many times before, lacks self-confidence entirely. He did get a little push to his limit last time when Oven accidentally zapped him with lightning, and he did have a little confidence booster when he managed to very effectively open an extremely trapped door. But he's going to regress to the mean eventually. Onwards to Oven.
Hi, I'm Shrike. I play Oven, the Minotaur. He's extremely confident, overly so, in that he thinks he can tackle anything under the sun, and that is historically what he has done. Gruel.
Hey, I'm Jazz. I play Gruel. Gruel is a halfling sort of druid. She was raised out in the wild. She's excited to explore the dungeon, particularly after the mention of a star map, and also, I guess, the Harbingers. Very interesting information. I'll pass it on to, I think, Zephyr's left.
That was the
Nope, I
first.
started.
Oh, my
I'm-
bad. Okay, it's just Pog.
I play the remainder.
Every other character.
Every other character, that's right. And you are entering floor 2.
We are.
Yes, we are.
When time unpauses.
Well, we're going to be sent down a level first, I assume. I am being heavily harassed by my cat.
All
I
right.
know what that's like.
Welcome to Dungeon Floor 2, everyone.
Huh.
Oh, this
it's
reminds me of
beautiful.
the Oblivion dungeon music. One of them, at least.
You can see the light has been misplaced. For some reason, it moved over here. It's supposed to be there. But other than that,
The music is super low for me.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Like,
Go to the
Supposed
global
to-
volume controls and the.
Yeah, I've got everything up.
please
Oh, okay,
leave the
even the-
music at this low volume. This is intended.
Okay.
It's like just ambient, right?
Yeah, I just have to turn everything way up to hear it. I can hear it. It's ambient.
You turned up the currently playing as well, right? Because it has its own volume. as well.
Everything was up. Everything's up.
This is intentionally quieter. Do not raise your volume.
What's this thing in the center?
if you raise your volume when he does the jump scare later, it's going to be really
Max it
loud.
out.
So,
Max it out.
as you drop down, inside you can see some sort of a rusted iron mechanism in the middle. There are doors to your north and to your south. The doors appear to be made out of some sort of completely white substance that you're not familiar with.
Payanchi.
That would be wild. I don't think it would be, but
Also, please note that the dungeon clock remains in effect.
oh boy. Is this like turn around the corner here? Is that?
All right.
What was that, Pog, about the clock? Sorry.
It's still up here. You have to unselect your token.
You see it. Yeah. Thank you.
Anything notable about this room? Anything about these 3 things on the wall that actually are important To us?
There's
Well,
a
if you wanna-
torch.
okay.
There's a ladder leading up, which was clearly placed here by someone
Oh,
else.
that's the ladder. Okay.
The ladder is clearly newer than everything else here, as this is the reality that you are on board now. It is fairly obvious.
Ooh. That makes it. It was a temple built on top of it, I guess. Is that
Right.
what happened? Or okay. Cool.
I'm gonna stand here to cast some light.
If you want to easily see the dungeon,
Mate,
just
please
go to
don't stand
actors.
on me.
Oh, that was non-canonical.
Oops.
Somebody has opened the door into the next room.
That was a misclick. I was trying to click under Gruel.
Oops.
My bad. We can make that canon if you want. That could be my action for this thing.
Okay, when you open up the door is unlocked. You're able to see that there are 2 magic circles as well as a rapidly spinning propeller in the center. It's not clear why it's spinning, but it is. You see that this room, though not pictured... Oh, someone is
Hearing
echoing.
an echo.
Echo.
Though not pictured, there are many zombies that have been cleaved by the propellers here.
There's so many zombies in a spaceship.
I'm gonna provide some light. There we go.
What are the circles? They're just like on the ground?
They are on the ground. It's not clear what they're doing, but they are glowing to an extent, and they are providing some sort of magical light.
Hmm. Well, that side seems it'll be safe, so we should probably check north.
Yeah. Do the pile of bodies, are they like,
I think north is where
are
we
they
came from.
grouped up anywhere?
No, they clearly have just been cleaved in half by this propeller.
Alright, but like there's no clear preference for like, they're not like attracted to the circles or all coming from one direction or repelled by the circles.
That would be an investigation check you would have to make in that room, which would use a
Okay.
dungeon turn.
I don't think that's
Sorry.
worth it.
Did we
Similarly,
come down from the north, or did we come down from the ladder?
you came down through the ladder.
Okay.
And if you
so what is
open
north?
the other door, which you can do freely, because it's also unlocked.
Oh, I couldn't even see the door.
Yeah, I couldn't even see the door,
Yeah.
like the icon.
I assumed
Same
that there
thing.
was a door there.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the same way.
Hmm.
Which way do we go?
Hmm.
I don't.
Well,
Let's flip a coin. It seems to truly make no difference.
would you say
at least
this
from what we can
applies
see?
about violence or possible threats?
It would.
Because this is literally a scene of violence.
Yeah, it would
Uh,
apply.
All right, I want to investigate how they're dying, where they're coming from, because the other door looks closed, right? So why are all these zombies just like laying here?
All right, if you could, you can use. I'd say, first of all, how are you handling this? Is this cautious, risky, or desperate?
We'll say risk.
Risky.
It's Oven.
Wait, what? Let me look. Risky.
Can I step
Success
into
and
the
critical
room?
0. Yeah, we'll do risky.
We'll do risky. All right.
That's not cheating for me to do. Is just going up there so I can see the rest of the room, right?
That is legal. Yes.
I closed the door.
Okay.
I can't open it again.
Noob
There we
Lord.
go.
Noob Lord.
I'd say it's at least risky because there's a giant spinning blade in the middle.
Okay, in that case, I will say endure would make sense.
Okay. What's the worst that could happen? Smile. Do I want to push? Can I push after rolling?
Can you?
You can push
use
after
those
rolling.
superpower things for other people? No. So I've got that, which I don't think I'm ever going to use before I switch.
I mean,
Oh, that's rough. 2 5s.
yeah.
Would you like to
Sure.
suffer harm or end up in a desperate position?
Desperate position.
I warn you that if you end up in a desperate position, this will leave you stuck in a desperate position.
Yeah. So no, I don't think we should do that.
Yeah, no.
All right. What's the harm?
The harm is, now that you've locked into harm, you take 2 strain. Well, you don't even need to be locked in. That's just the consequence of taking...
No matter how much strain it is, because it's the first time I took strain in the session, I get 0.
Okay. As you go into this
there any
room...
way he could do it more recklessly so he could take more strain that reduces to 0?
Yes, you could end up in a desperate position. Anyway.
Okay, never mind.
You go into this room, and you realize this mechanism has a mechanical purpose to the reality. You also realize that it functions as a trap. Effectively, this is like a blender that cuts up anything that gets onto this floor. Now, the propeller blades themselves are not large enough to reach the sides of the room until you step on a pressure plate and the blades unfurl and they are now scraping the sides of the wall. Luckily, your armor is strong enough that you are able to withstand the blow. You step back and the blades retract in on themselves.
Yeah, guys, so that's how that works.
All
Thought
right.
I'd
Ooh,
do
that
the
was
demonstration.
close.
So,
Can
did
you
I learn
see-
anything about the where the zombies are coming from? Is there like a clear entry point other than the door?
It's not clear where the zombies themselves are coming from. They are coming from different parts of the room. The reason why they're scattered is because the blades expand, right? So they're like flinging the body parts around,
So
essentially.
it truly is like a
Like a
blender.
blender,
There
yeah.
is nowhere for it to fall to one spot because it's just
Yeah.
going to get hit again. Okay.
Exactly, until they're so small that they go underneath the blades.
Yeah.
Cool.
However, I should mention, like, the zombies and such are so old that at this point, it's mostly just bones. It's less zombie, more bones. Some, like,
They turn into skeletons.
Yeah, they're very old.
Well, there's one benefit to this. It seems to be a mechanical trap that I stepped on a pressure plate, so disabling it shouldn't be that hard, right?
No, I could try. Oh no, like combat stuff, like the right ability to ignore to float, basically.
Or like
That wouldn't
wedge
matter.
it. We could just wedge it so that it can't depress.
I mean, you can certainly do that if you'd like, because your
Yeah,
character has
I
the
just-
ability to fly. You can say, I use my ability to fly to avoid stepping on the ground.
Okay. Yeah, but what about everyone else? Yeah, I think a wedge into it. Can we identify how hard is it to see these pressure plates?
Well, you can use the sense to find out, but again, time is ticking.
Okay. Could I attempt to use?
There's got to be a pressure plate on the other side of the very. Both doors, probably.
Yeah. All right. Can I use sense to get through and guide people through?
Yes, that would be a team action. That does use effort.
Okay. So that's one effort from me, right?
Yes, and in exchange, everyone uses your sense roll.
Okay. I will do that.
All right.
I think that's my last effort.
Let's see the roll.
3, 2, 1. Okay. Sense. Risky, right?
It's whatever you choose. If you'd like to be controlled, you
How
can.
fast do you want to do it? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm also thinking, should I do terrible? No, I'm gonna roll. Here we go. Look, traps. Oh yeah, I see a 6. There we go.
Nice success. On a risky, this does not advance the clock to succeed.
Nice.
Now, if you had a critical success, if you'd like to try something here, or if someone can help you, for example, then if you have a critical success, you can apply your knowledge of the traps to the bottom room as well.
I don't have any effort. I can't.
That's a 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it.
Think about how much time you'll save. All you have to do is just have someone assist you.
And roll a 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah, and that's worth 1 effort, and I think we should save that, because I'm out.
So, did you lead us around to the other side?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I was attempting
Zephyr,
to do.
you're able to realize is that this room, as you're like floating around to observe the traps, the pressure plates are virtually everywhere. However, there is a safe pattern, and this safe pattern only goes up to these little green circles. The green circles have a pressure plate on them, but you notice they are not connected to the same mechanism that the other pressure plates are. The green circles possess a pressure plate which deactivates the mechanism. If someone stands on there, everyone can pass safely.
Oh.
And if you jump and move very carefully, there's a pattern of stones that's designed that the average person can get onto the green circles. It's an emergency failsafe that's built in.
Hey, look. And if you do it on the south, you can just fly over it and then land on those and disable it.
Yeah.
Who needs
I
a
just
crit
fly over
success?
the next time.
Who needs a crit success when you have the ability to recognize patterns? I guess.
All right.
Open the door.
Can I put my ear to the door? Just all I'm listening for is shuffling and moaning.
Yes. That will not count against your dungeon clock.
Okay, thank you. I was about to ask that. Because we're in a dungeon. You're supposed to put your ear to the wall. There's another 6.
With the 6, you are able to not hear shuffling and moaning. However, what you are able to hear is there is some sort of like a mechanism from beyond, and you hear the grinding of gears. It seems very large, whatever this mechanism is, because of the deep metallic sounds coming from deeper within.
Okay. All right, I'll open up the door.
Beautiful. Unfortunately for you, the reason there's no shuffling and moaning is because they were standing completely still. An encounter begins as the virtually mechanic undead guards whir into action.
All right.
Oh, Point and Gruel in this room as well. Point is going to be in the back.
Is this full-on combat or narrative combat?
This is full-on combat.
Okay.
Remember, there's a reason why our research team was not able to progress any further. It's because of these guys.
It's the Draugr.
Do we want to do reinforcements here to empty our dungeon clock?
How many does reinforcements add?
Or one. It adds 1 enemy, a copy of one of them.
And does that reduce the clock?
Yep.
It reduces it by 4.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all right. That sounds like a good time to do it, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
What's the worst that could happen in deadly
It
combat
sounds
where
fun.
actual
Sounds
economy
fun.
is extremely important?
All right, let's see which guy we're copying. 3.
That's the best one.
All right, let's make this even more fun. The zombified parts from the other room begin to rattle as they come together.
Yes, pulling the whole dungeon.
The other, like, which direction?
The south room?
Right here, a zombie guard has reformed itself.
Oh.
Now, this room has a special mechanic, which is if one person is on one of the green squares, then the trap is not active. If the trap is active, starting your turn in this room will cause you to take 5 piercing damage.
Okay.
Lovely.
So Point is going to stand on this spot for the time being. anyone who has not added themselves into this combat,
Please do so.
I've also added notes.
Also
Thank you.
reduce our dungeon clock.
Right.
One more?
Are those debuffs still on Oven? Like frozen and stuff?
No.
Oh. Oops.
And Zephyr, there's a debuff on them as well.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can remove it from the combat encounters screen.
I don't think there's any way we can remove it. DM only.
Status effect? Isn't it? Yeah, it's under the status effects. Oh, but we can't remove it.
You can, you just have to right click.
Yeah, I am. Oh. You just did something, didn't you?
I did nothing. I didn't
I
do
don't
it.
believe that.
Anyways,
You're
let's
being
begin.
sneaky. You're being sly.
Let us begin.
Okay.
How many people are in that room, did you see?
Zephyr, you're able to see from where you are. Zephyr, you can see what your character can see. You can see there's a guy to the right. You can see that there's someone deeper within. They look like sort of a mummified orc, and there appears to be a ghost in the back.
Alright. And there's like, I can see like a shoulder here.
Yep.
Alright. I would like to go first,
All right.
if that's okay.
Sure.
Actually, does anyone want to go first? I could go first.
I would just be setting up defensive stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna cast Warding Wind. Not infused, so it's just gonna be. Oh, that's still okay. Sorry, I'm looking at the. Actually, could I do? What would be the point of that? How would that work? If I were to like throw it down, let me look at the. Sorry. Where are you? Where are you? Move. Okay. Yeah, I'll just do Warding Wind like this on these 4 squares.
Okay. Trying to
Then
mess up
I
all
would
the
like-
lighting in the room. 1 second. Right on.
Whoa.
Don't
That
worry.
doesn't seem intended.
It was intended. Then I just have to divide everything by 5 now.
That's a big ass room.
Is it?
I mean, it seems to like go all the way over here. Just way to the right.
See what you mean now.
Yeah. Like that doesn't seem intended.
That's what doesn't.
Yeah, that's right. And then.
Can
I
you
know. Then I
bring
want to use
Warding Wind to this
electromagnetism.
Chat, so we know what it does.
Oh yes. Say I go first, and I'm taking forever. Here it is. And then I'm going to use electromagnetism on. I gotta look at the effects again. Toward or away from the marked character. Okay.
Don't forget to click that as well.
Yeah.
For great justice.
Okay, so I'm just thinking how I could use this to move someone. Sorry, I lost the screen. Okay, there's Forge. I'll use it on the Fire Dancer. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I will teleport one onto here.
Okay.
And that will be my turn. I just wanted to set that up, because I think there's like 4 or 5 up there.
Alright, so this beautiful little guy that we summoned together as a team.
Do it.
Overpower 1.
Can I use an interrupt?
Yes.
This is the melee attack as an ally in range 2. Is attacking who? What's the two?
This one is attacking Zephyr. Now let me roll the attack first. See what happens.
Does notes
Oh.
Missed that one.
Gruul, but it was in that one regardless. Doesn't matter who it was. Okay, so then
I see. So I don't actually have to do it.
I mean, you can if you want to prevent this fray damage.
Oh yeah, I will actually. Can I stand on notes square? Does notes take up a space?
You can sound no square, that's fine.
Okay. So I get the dash 1 and then roll. I have not gone yet, so 2d6 keep highest one.
Phrase 3.
3.
Alright. No damage.
And they are dazed, because I reduced it to 0.
Oh,
However,
sweet.
Gruul does take 2 damage, as an aside.
For what?
Gruul is next to the target, and therefore takes 2 damage.
Let's see. Yeah.
But then this guy is
1.
dazed.
Nice.
So future attacks will have a curse.
It's really good for the one in the room with us.
Let's see.
No.
Then it is going to go ahead and use the strike. This strike is not an attack, so this is legal. Zephyr, you must make a saving throw.
Zephyr is technically not
Okay.
adjacent.
Yeah, I think I am.
No, diagonals
Isn't it-
are adjacent, yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
I know they're range
Yeah.
1, but I don't think they're adjacent. I think that's the difference.
No, they're adjacent. We had this popped up a few
Yeah.
times already. It's if you look it up, just Control F adjacent on the PDF. It'll say diagonals count.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll a save. So this is a D20.
Now you are dazed.
Now I'm dazed. Damn.
Doesn't feel.
You are correct, yeah.
I don't know. It feels pretty dazing to me.
Yeah.
It even ignores height difference for adjacent.
The
Alright.
system ignores height difference in general.
Point has a clear shot. Point likes taking clear shot at absurd range. The heavy arquebus is fired. And it misses. This is not a real roll. This is just for damage. Eight, 7.
Oh, his mist does a deed. Right.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
D plus Frey, yeah.
All right, everyone else.
And they're... Oh, no. Not vulnerable, because they missed.
Yep.
Bummer.
I will go if no one else wants to go.
Do we want to like start pushing up into that northern room so that
No.
No.
We'll get mobbed if we go in there.
I'm hoping to keep them up there with the wall.
yeah, but like eventually we are going to have to deal with them.
Yeah.
And
I want to... I'll tell you what my turn would be. So I'd set up for all guards, so I got some defensive stuff. I'll get my interrupt back, and I'll do a burst sight on the fire dancer so we know we're up against.
That sounds good.
If I go, I could Blood Grove, so they'll have like a negative to attacking. I think any of us, I could, except maybe Point. I could. Put
Could
it
you
in
like...
it.
You could move it like you...
I could put it there. It has range 3. Yeah.
Yeah, you can drop it wherever you want. It's not like where you hit someone. Okay.
Yeah.
We could also close the door and gang up on the guard.
Oh yeah, Fire Dancer probably has some spells it can sling.
Probably.
Straight down.
If they like fireball the room or something, it's gonna suck. Also, kind of why I want to get Royal Guard up for resistance, but
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can go there. Yeah.
because then I'll also have vigilance and I can protect you guys as well. All right, taking my turn.
Okay.
Royal Guard for one action, and then I'm going to first sight the Fire Dancer for another action.
All right, what are you looking for?
Actions are like their... Oh wait, which ones would for the abilities? I want to know their abilities.
I'm afraid this person has saved.
Oh, I see. So I don't get to know anything. All right.
Yes. So attributes essentially is like, what is their defense? How much health did they have, etc.
Can I close the door as part of my movement, or?
You can close the closing the door. Sorry, is an action.
Okay, that's fine. I'll stand here then.
Okay.
No, I don't want to. I don't think. I want to be within range of everyone. Yeah. I need to be central.
All right.
All right. I didn't attack, so I've got vigilance and 2 stacks of resistance. Royal Guard.
Nice.
That's the turn.
Yep. How do I pass my turn? Oh.
All right. You see the ghost of this cleric steps forward, looks at you, and begins generating a huge ball of black energy. It's going to throw it at you, Oven.
Okay.
Damn, that's a blast one.
I believe 7 will hit.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use one of my Royal Guards to have the damage.
Okay.
So that's 7, and then armor will produce another 3, so it's 4 damage.
Yeah, and everyone else will take 3 damage as a result of this.
Yep.
You've also been branded.
There is branded. Attackers gain +1 boon against me.
So
You're not gonna miss me, okay.
as the ball hits you, it explodes and the ball just shoots out, like hitting necrotic energy at everyone around. Then the necrotic energy sucks itself back in and wraps itself around you, and you're covered in this sort of pulsating black lightning. Gruel or Dougal?
If you have any cool ideas you really want to get through with Dougal, you can go if you want. But otherwise, I can go.
Let's see. I'm in the blast, right? I took 3 damage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not like.
sorry, I didn't do this.
Not that I would
first.
necessarily say is better than.
So actually, the damage I took would have gone to my vitality instead.
All right.
If you want to go and set something up, I can wait. But
So I've got 6.
Granted, I cannot see enemies beyond this one, so I do not know what things look like.
You should set up blood growth.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll put down a blood. Oh, sorry. I should click my thing first. I'll go ahead and go. I will blast 1. Oh. I think if I should place it centered on Oven or place it north of Oven. Sorry, that should. I don't think anything's gonna. I mean,
Wouldn't you want to like put it in the center and just gum up those guys?
I could, but then it's also like enemies attacking allies that are in Blood Grove. Could be useful.
Mm-hmm.
The door's
It's
not
difficult
closed.
terrain for us, but
But
we get.
they are
benefit from
branded,
cover.
is the other thing.
It'll just counteract the brand for me, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not difficult terrain for us. It's difficult terrain for foes.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So if you put the Blood Grove in the other room, then you're effectively increasing your offensive ability. But if you put it here, you're increasing your defensive ability. That's actually really interesting.
And stacking with wall of gust or warding wind.
If you put it in here and include the zombie guard, we can make it bigger, but I don't know.
I mean, that depends on us wanting to do all the fighting in the room where we have to stand in specific spots or get blendered. I do not like standing in a blender.
They are undead. Maybe they'll be dumb enough to keep going in. Like, I mean, like they're zombie undead. I mean, not like awakened undead.
Well, they were
might-
standing for ambush, although they weren't really consciously doing that. They just activated.
Next turn, I'll go into the room above. Like next time we go around.
Sweat.
Next turn you're going to that room.
Sure, why not?
Okay, I will.
Unless you want to sit here and snipe at each other. But we can go into that wind and stand in the wind and gain benefit there too.
Sure, I will place. There's like 2. Yeah, sure. I'll place it here then. 1, 2, 3. I can do that. I'll place it here. Blood Grove. And then I have my movement. Because you're gonna go there in your next turn. Won't be immediately useful, but 1, 2, 3. What does it take to close and open a door? By the way, so if I close,
It's an
it,
action.
An action. Okay.
Yeah.
I
You
can't do
don't
it.
have an action.
I will go like so. Oh, that'll be my turn.
Okay.
Arrow, click. There you go. Okay.
All right, the fire dance is going to start dancing.
Don't forget, he's constantly in difficult terrain.
Yeah. That should still be legal as that's still 2 moves. All right. So, Fire Dancer begins and enters the juggle stance. As the Fire Dancer generates a number of fireballs and then hucks one at Oven here. Oven, this is piercing damage. Nothing you can do about it.
Not true. I can still have it.
That's true. Well, it is 4 fray damage. So you can have it to 2.
Or, you know, I'll just take it because I still have some extra vigor. So
True.
now I've got 2 vigor left, or 2 HP 2 temp HP. I don't know how to say it.
Just say vigor. Just say I have like 6 vigor or whatever.
Well, you gain vigor 1, which is equal to 10 HP.
Yeah, so like vigor 1 is 10 vigor, is the way I'd put it.
Okay. So yeah, then I've got 2 vigor left. Because 4 and now 6. No, that means that's 0, right? Was it 6 damage or 4 damage?
That is 4 damage.
Okay, yeah. It's 4 and 4, so yeah. 8 total. Okay.
This is how I would say it. It's just a bit confusing.
Vigor 1 is... Okay. Yeah.
It's a bit confusing, but it does make sense.
Why not just temp HP? We all know what temp HP is.
It's because it scales to your whatever that HP.
It does,
Every class
but-
has, yeah.
Once you've already gotten Vigor 1, you don't care anymore.
Yeah,
Right.
technically it's Y times vitality, but in your case it's 10. Anyways, Dougal.
The only one has not gone yet. Kill 'em all.
It's Dougling time.
Yeah, just thinking it like again, I only see one enemy, and I don't think blasting him is super useful compared to other options.
You do like know there are people there. Like
Yeah,
without
no,
having to do anything, you saw Point shoot into the other room, and you saw like fireballs come out of the other room.
Yeah, like I know they're there. I'm just trying to figure out what I can do. Okay, no, this is a fine Dagon shot. This, so step down there. Abilities, Icy Sphere. This will be going from notes straight up.
That jump was really dangerous. When they can just dash to do it.
Let's see. Targeting the Fire Dancer, because that seems like something that will dodge the AoE.
Wow.
And actually, I'm also going to just step. Oh, another Tomb Guard. Step there. So. Oh, for targeting purposes, I need to do this. Target. Oh, there. Target macro. No crit. Let's see. No boons or curses. 2 damage dice. No bonus damage.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's a nat crit.
Big damage.
And
Go ahead and roll
also-
another damage dice. But before we address that, the Fire Dancer, in response to seeing this not this electrical, but rather this ball of ice coming out, throws up an ether wall in response.
Oh, okay. He's a right. I assumed he was a skirmisher. Well, whatever. I'm still gonna hit him hard.
Yeah, roll another
Um,
d8 and let's see how much damage this is.
But I would also note, he is now vulnerable
Hell
after
yeah.
that hit.
Nice.
So the Embalmer takes Frey. Fire Dancer takes 10 total. they're both frostbitten, or Fire Dancer is vulnerable. I don't know. Yes. Or wait, no. Do they both get frostbitten?
They would both be frostbitten.
Nice. So vulnerable for some frostbites. I will take the
Delay.
Wait, sorry. I didn't know that the Tomb Guard was there before. I would also like to drag him into the AoE.
Okay.
Because I can shove him one.
This guy's now in the AoE.
Yep. So 4 damage to him. That's
Anyone have a good
And-
line attack next turn?
what?
Does anyone have a good line attack for next turn to combo with that?
I do.
And I will. I will delay.
Do you want
So
to
that-
infuse?
Yes, I will infuse. Well, no, actually, because Fire Dancer will just float above. No, it's worth it to make the pit. It's worth it to make the pit.
Okay. Making the pit also activates Tumult.
Oh, that's.
If you'd want.
No, I don't.
I don't think that hits anyone, though.
that hits us.
Yeah.
Alright, gang. Alright, the pit has been created.
Yep, and finish my movement out of sight. All right.
I've got a. Oh, it's not our turn yet.
And yeah, so the Icy Sphere will hit them all again on my next turn, but that's slow. So take it away.
Where is it?
The Icy Sphere, it's up here. It's the same
Oh.
AoE I hit.
Alright, this
Okay.
guy takes some damage from the Blood Grove. Do they make the save? They do. Tomb Guard makes the save and is able to start advancing into the room.
It's difficult terrain, but yeah.
Yeah, that used all... But they're able to get in. One big swing of the axe coming down on Oven. I did not even roll with the d6, but it doesn't matter.
He has a
I'm gonna
he's
use
a
this.
bane or curse, doesn't he?
No, that is a
Uh,
different one, isn't it? Oh, because he's
No,
in the
I-
Blood Grove. Alright, so it does matter because the branded gives +1.
But the Blood Grove
Oh.
-1.
Yep.
So they
Yeah,
just
but
don't.
that's only
No,
if
if
you
an
were in the blood.
ally's
if an
yeah.
ally's in the Blood Grove, then enemies have negative to the ally. If an enemy's in the Blood Grove, we have positive to the enemy.
I see.
Oh,
Alright, well in that case then, it doesn't matter anyways because you cannot roll a 14 on a d6.
True.
11 damage to Oven.
I would like to use my shield cloak.
Alright.
For 1 die, so that's 6 that you rolled, the second 6. I'm gonna make that a 1.
Oh my god.
So that's 5 less damage?
Yep.
yep.
Is this piercing? No.
Nope.
So that's 3 damage. So I lose all of the rest of my vigor and I take 1 damage on top. Alright.
Oven, no!
My second cloak hardens and takes the blow.
Alright. I am the greatest combat GM because I just do what the characters would do. This guy, however, shoved back and cannot enter. So in this case, even though they are just lining up, the mindless undead would not know any better. And so, top of the round.
I go.
Go
I got
ahead.
something.
Do it.
All right. I will teleport one before the attack and stand on top of the thing. And then I will use... I've got
Don't
to find
move,
it now.
point.
I'm not going to.
I was telling him not to move, but yeah.
Oh! Wait, can I? Yes, yes. Right? Yes. Bolt. Infuse 2. How do I show...
If you click bolt,
Yeah, I'm trying to show the infuse, like, Levin cross. Oh, it shows it there. Okay, change attack area to line 8 plus cross 2.
oh my god!
Where?
No way. Wow, that's like perfect.
Yeah. So, I will target the fire dancer.
Okay.
Now I have a curse. So...
Now the fire dancer is electrified, so don't forget to pop a bonus damage on that.
Yes.
And he's vulnerable. Already.
Number of damage dice. It is still just 1. Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause that's not the mastery. And then 1, so -1 for curse. Add fray, roll.
Wow.
Oh, I got a -3. But, everyone takes fray damage.
And this is piercing damage as well. Not only that, but they
Yes.
all become vulnerable and electrified.
Does this hit me?
Nope. No, area effect is fray. Effect is only on the main target.
So the area effect is fray, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Area effect fray, and then effect main target. Well, this guy is vulnerable and electrified already.
Yeah, so... Will he take bonus damage then?
Bonus
No,
damage
not-
is applied like the attack.
A hit. Yeah.
Either way,
Alright, so they all take 4 damage. And the vulnerable guy takes another 1.
Does this hit me? I need to know.
Oh,
eh?
yes. You get hit by fray.
Okay.
Which is piercing, so you're
Yeah.
just going to take 4 damage. And then I will... What am I going to do? Oh, and also at the start of my turn, Fire Dancer's got a range 2 on him. I can push people. So... Yeah, I would like to push this Tomb Guard to the right, 1 to the right. And I guess the Ghost 1 up.
The ghost is
So that's
pushed
the
into the machine, but is a ghost, so it's fine.
And... Yes, then I will... teleport back down to here.
If you do that, you are
Yeah,
within range of Tomb Guard. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. I can't push Point out of the way, right?
You... Point wants to
Like,
be
I'd like-
here to hold down the mechanism.
I would like to be there instead. But I don't think there's a way for me to swap places with him. If he'll stay there...
I mean, the enemy can also, forcefully move. So we have to be a little careful there.
I don't have much aside from that. I'm probably just going to reload my gun. That's about it.
All right. I think I'm gonna call down Odin Force. Yeah. Yeah. Let me post that. Call Lightning, not Odin Force. So I'll call one down, and let's hit this guy for 1. And that will be my turn.
So the power die starts at 6. You use 1.
Yeah.
Do you have an action to do this?
Yeah, he did a light,
Yes.
light attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was only 1 action last time.
All right.
You're damaged. Okay.
The fire dancer is ready to start cooking.
Oops.
First, the first thing that is done, flame dance. So,
Oh no.
going to hit you.
Attacking me.
You're being attacked because you're branded.
Don't think I could.
Should have thought about that before you got
have the
burned.
damage whenever. Yeah, okay.
Hold on, sorry, not canon.
Oh.
We're going to use the roll of 10 from this. The damage is d8 here.
Okay, I'll use my second roll guard resistance. Have it to 4.
Okay, well remember, they are in juggle stance. So let the games begin,
Oh, I know.
because piercing fray damage is dealt to another character within range 6. Now she can see Point and she can see Zephyr, so I'm going to roll to see who it is. Alright, Point is hit by the piercing fray.
Well, I will use my vigilance.
I just like to point out that for me at least, that the coin like didn't land fully and just kind of rolled into the corner, leaning up against the edge, and that's really neat.
I'll
I
use
saw
my
it land
vigilance
on
1 to. Oh shit! I'm gonna pull him off the thing. Well, yeah. Point gets pulled 1 toward me, shoved 1 toward me, and then I become the target of the attack.
Alright. Well, this is piercing fray, so that's 4 damage.
Yeah.
But remember, I said let the games begin, because they get to dash too. So they're going to dash. And in
Does it
dashing,
again.
that means you take some fray damage. That's right, piercing fray, Oven, you're taking 4.
Okay.
But remember, I said let the games begin, so they're going to activate acrobatics and dash again.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He's dancing.
So take another 4.
Yep.
All right. This is hurting, guys.
But remember, I did say let the games begin, so they're going to end their turn by dropping literally a bomb. There is now a bomb right here. See, there is a pulsating orb of fire. Sorry, it's on you, Oven. Like, it's directly on you.
Let's see. It's got 1 HP.
And it's just
Auto hit.
floating over your head here.
Oh, it explodes when you hit it. Let's see.
Like hot potato with him.
Okay. And characters become vulnerable.
You can shove it around, but
I mean, a shove is 1 action, right? You could shove and then attack it with a ranged, light range attack. If you could shove it far enough, I guess.
That's a lot of actions just to avoid one burst.
It'll blow up on them, right? If you push it
it
towards
does do like a save, or everyone in the area takes D plus
Fine.
fray damage.
Jesus. This character's really balanced.
How far can you shove it?
Shoves do 1.
Only one, damn.
How does their stance refresh?
Can we shove it? Supposed for a blast.
Now, the stance does not actually refresh,
Good.
except
Jesus.
at the end of their turn. So, they do get to deal piercing fray damage to a character in range 6 at the end of their turn. Now, there does happen to be this bomb in range 6.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that it makes you vulnerable first, so you end up being vulnerable to the D plus fray from the explosion as well, right? Is that how that works?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oof.
So, the Tomb Guard, Zephyr, Oven, and Point.
I'm gonna fucking die is what's gonna happen.
Nice save.
Ooh, I was muted. Yeah, 14.
If you make
Wait,
this
it blew
save, you
up?
do not take any damage.
Fuck. God damn.
It blew up. Someone did damage. Oh, you did piercing damage. I see.
Yeah, at the end of its turn, it does one final, like, little thing as it finishes the dance. It's like juggling all these small fireballs and hucking them around, and this is the last fireball. Now, this is not piercing damage, but to make a save.
Does the undead guy there also have to?
Of course. Now, see, the beautiful thing about Point
My gosh, I'm gonna fail.
is that Point is not going to take damage on making this save. Point's a nimble little
Uh-huh.
lad.
Yeah.
No fray damage.
Now, fray damage is dealt to Zephyr. That's 4. Let's see
Alright.
how much damage is dealt to Vin. Come on, Ovin. 8.
Okay.
Not that bad.
Is that including the vulnerable?
It is not. So that's plus
Okay,
1.
So it says 9 damage. So -3, so 6 damage. Alright.
Yep.
Well,
So should I have taken 5 damage?
You should have taken 5. That's correct. Sorry.
Alright.
All right. Now that is the Fire Dancer's turn.
All right. Can I go?
Point has to move first.
Oh, that's doing okay.
Now, once per battle, Point can use Point's emergency first aid.
Ah, nice.
So cure is pretty good. Immediately cures a status or blight, so that gets rid of that brand on you,
oh, and if they're bloody, they gain Vigor 1.
and then you gain Vigor 1.
So I get 10 temp HP.
Can the
Nice.
vigor one stack? No, right? Like if someone else casted cure on Oven?
No, it's just you replace it.
Okay.
If you had Vigor 2, that'd be better.
I'm gonna treat it like regular HP, but oh fuck, that's not right. There we go. Just so people can visually see.
No. Here's what. Right-click your character token. Hang on.
Okay.
The blue bar, I guess, right?
Yeah. So
I don't
9.
think that will show up. Oh,
It does. Now, Point, after applying his emergency first aid, he pulls out like a weird-looking mechanical stim pack type thing. Then he drops a turret onto the ground to defend. Hops back onto the green circle. And reloads.
Presser.
All right.
Oh, range.
Now,
Oh.
who would like to go next?
I can go.
All right, Gruel, take it away.
Okay. So I had a click the arrow there. Okay, so I had one question. So under Bloodgrove, the last sentence of effect, any character can also extend it by voluntarily taking damage equal to 50% of max HP while inside a free action. Can summons do that?
Are you suggesting that you'll put a summon down and then sacrifice it to the Bloodgrove effectively? Because I think that's fair if the summon has more than 1 HP.
Yeah, it does. The plant will have 20.
Okay, so that's with the Kinchewer, right?
Yeah, so I'll place that. If you click the summon underneath it, it has half of the summoner's max HP, 50%, so it has 20 HP. And I could place that.
It explicitly says a character controlled by its summoner, so it is a character.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. The plant is giving its life essence to increase the size here.
Yeah, so the plant will be bloodied. I'll let me see. Where do I want this plant to be, though?
That's really good. That's very good, because...
Cool.
1 second. Let me see where I want to put the plant. Can I move? Yeah, I can move it sick. Okay, 1 second. Where do I want to put this? But yeah, I will do that so it's bloodied. The plant's blade, rather. So it goes up by 1 blast radius.
And you get a free 2 damage on somebody.
True.
Which will be 3, because this guy's... Oh, he didn't make this. So
This guy's
Sorry.
vulnerable.
He's vulnerable as well. I just didn't put it on because it's hard.
And then the turret will activate and shoot him for another one.
I think that's how Bloodgrove is intended to be, actually. Because otherwise, it makes no sense why like a player would sacrifice 50% of their HP. Yeah.
All right, so
This guy's vulnerable?
Yep.
Sweet.
Tomb Guard is. I mean, I could stop them from moving if that's helpful. I could try to stop them by hitting them with the plant. Would you like that, Zephyr? Or Tomb Guard to the southwest of you?
It's fine. Do what
Alright.
you want. I'm prepared.
I will put the token here then, and the plant here then. That's range 4.
okay,
So
and the
plant will be
attack is
here.
on.
I guess Fire Dancer, so can't dash around potentially. We'll see if it makes the save or not.
Now the turret cannot hit the fire dancer because there's a wall in the way.
Okay, that's fine. Oof, makes it. That's fine. 2 piercing damage to Fire Dancer at least, or they're vulnerable, so I guess is that 3?
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, another plant's there, so I think it's kind of blocking. Not really, is it? Blocking doesn't work like that, but
What happened to our health estimates? It got messed up at some point.
uh-oh. Oh yeah, it says badly injured instead of bloodied, or I don't know.
Yeah, I just decided to change how it's written, I guess.
Oh, I still have an action.
Oh, they made it not like the worst thing in the universe.
Okay, I will. On my plant, I will use Growing Season. Mark an ally or foe in range 5 while marked. After that character ends their turn, summon a sprouting eaten fruit and adjacent occupied space. So I guess that will just happen. Because when my turn ends.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll place the eaten fruit. Would anyone like the blessing? Because I kind of just want to place it like here, so nothing. Like Fire Dancer can't really dash anymore. It's basically blocked. Yeah, I'll just place the eaten fruit here. Cool. And then I'll have the eaten fruit take half its. No, I'm just kidding. That's my turn.
Okay, let's see. Tomb Guard steps up forward like so. We are going to begin first by swinging at Zephyr, because Zephyr, you are dazed already.
They've got a curse on their attack because of Blood
Yep.
Grove.
Well, this is not an attack. This is just dealing 4 damage to Zephyr for free.
Okay.
So just smacks you with the shield, and then goes in with the big hit on Oven. This is with a curse. And let's see, even with the curse, the damage is nothing.
2 damage. Because of armor.
2 damage, and then the adjacent Zephyr takes 2.
And that's 3, right?
Yep. Because of vulnerable. Which I should really honestly just mark. It says bleeding, but it's vulnerable.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, I'm still vulnerable.
Yeah, because point would have cured the brand rather than vulnerable.
Okay. Well, minus 1 more.
All right. And there's that. So, Oven or Dougal?
I'm slow. Or is Oven also slow?
Nope. Well, I don't think I can go through this guy, can I?
No, this guy's moved here on purpose.
Yeah.
Block anyone from going in, keep anyone from closing the door.
Then I'm going to just guillotine him, I think.
Guilty! He's in the Blood Grove.
Actually, what turn is this?
This is round 2. You may want to save your personal resolve here, because if you win this fight, it can go up even higher. Just
It
a
doesn't
thought.
work out to use it anyways here, so I had to consider my options.
Mhm.
Alright, I guess we're just gonna attack him. So I do this. And because of I didn't attack last turn, I've got this. And I think that's it. Yeah. So, 2 dice. He's in the Blood Grove, so we get a boon.
Yep.
I don't think I have any. Oh, I get another boon because of he saw it. Choose strike and it's a D10. Oh. Oh wait, it'll do that for me. Roll. I somehow it didn't actually do the second boon. I thought it would for Hitox.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think plus
5.
3. No.
Would you like to try to re-roll this?
For 1 effort.
For 1 effort, you can attempt to re-roll this.
The D20.
Re-roll the d20. You cannot get any worse.
That's true. Yeah, alright, I'll do it. I'll use my last effort.
Hey!
And he's vulnerable, so that's 16 damage.
Yep.
Plus, he is. He'd become double vulnerable, which isn't a thing.
Hey,
Does that do bonus damage? Like with,
it is not a blight.
Blights? Okay.
Wait, why? Oh, yeah. No.
All right. Heavy hit goes down.
I can move a little bit, I guess. So,
Then, about
turret.
That's the turn.
That's all I got.
All right, Dougal, hang tight. Then this is going to be rough.
I get 1 vigilance for ending my turn. That's it.
Dun, 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 dun. It's not yet.
Soon.
They're going to attempt to save here. They're able to go into this area, but I don't even think they would want to. Honestly, it's just kind of crap to go in here. Ghosts would not go in. Instead, it will just fire an unholy at point. Once again.
Allies can't like block range, right? Like you can go through them or over them or whatever.
Yeah.
Point doesn't have like 12 AC.
Point is actually...
He's not a vagabond?
He has high AC when he's dismounted, so that would miss. Which would do nothing.
Ooh.
However, Dougal will have to make a save. Point when on Vanguard is not, however. Point on Vanguard would
Right.
have 5.
But I guess there'd be more HP or something.
Sorry, what do I have to make a save for?
Sorry, you do not have to make a save, but you are in the range of the blast, so you do take free damage. 3 damage to be exact.
Okay.
Alright. But hang tight, Dougal, because your deals are not over yet. This Tomb Guard will attempt to save to move around, and does not. Cannot get through the wall. That's it. Just can't get through the wall.
Oh, the combat carousel on the stream is blocking like the chat rolls.
Yeah, I have to alternate between them from time to time.
Now can I go?
Not yet. This one is going...
Slow
Through a
trains
sl-
suck, don't they, Dougal?
Yeah.
It's,
I have no ability to see enemies, so
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Alright, Slobber Knocker goes down. This thing is going to hit you for 10. Just a heavy melee attack. Just a big, beefy, just whomp.
That is 7 because of armor, so that goes through all my Vit figure.
And now, Dougal.
Temp HP.
That slow turn finally paid off. See, this wall has prevented these guys from moving forward, so they're just stuck in this line.
I'm shifting over to. Oh yeah. That's good. So let me. Do abilities.
2 of them are bloody.
So that is. They have to make a save or take 1d8 plus fray damage. And the frostbitten fails. They all fail to save.
They are all frostbitten. This guy, who does not have a 1d20, so I'm just going to use that roll and say this guy failed. Alright, roll damage on one of the guys, and we'll apply that to all these little stinkers here. Okay,
Could have been better. Could have been worse.
this is just the beginning of the turn.
Oh yeah, true.
Okay, so that's. Okay. I mean, what makes the most... Is the bomb still there?
The bomb has exploded. That is a turret, which by
Oh, yeah. And Fire Dancer should take 1 additional damage for being vulnerable.
true.
Does that mean the turret's doing 2 damage to him every time?
It is. I've been keeping track of that.
Let's see. I think it probably makes sense to... Oh, I'm doing another Icy Sphere, obviously, because I've got a bunch of enemies in the line. I think I probably want to just shoot the Fire Dancer again to try and... Well, I get more damage out of shooting someone else, I guess.
Do you?
Well, isn't the Fire Dancer frostbitten as well?
Oh, he is. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So you get bonus damage.
Yeah, I could also go after the Embalmer, which would have the bonus damage. But he's just
The Fire Dancer
scratched.
is bloodied, and he's a problem.
Yeah. All right.
If he does his dance thing again, we're gonna be in trouble.
So this will be another Icy Sphere targeting. Let's see, select Dougal
Where's the
target.
ghost?
The
Fire
ghost is like
Dancer.
right by the mechanism.
Still up there, huh?
Yeah.
Ghost is the embalmer, right?
Can't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
see him, so.
They are transparent, which makes them difficult to see, but the stream can see.
Can they?
2 damage dice. I get a bonus damage because he's frostbitten. No boons or curses. Right.
Right.
He's in Bloodgrove. Does Bloodgrove give you a boon?
Yeah, it gives a boon. Yeah, he's in blood.
Yep.
You get a
All right. That's pretty good.
Crit incoming. Not quite, but it does hit.
does it kill?
Does.
16?
Even if they have
Nice.
it, doesn't matter. They're extremely dead. Or are they?
Oh.
They are.
Oh, is he?
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Did you grow the blood growth by 1 blast radius after? Please, thank you.
To its
I can't-
maximum
but
size?
Let's not forget. There's some fray vulnerable damage coming.
Ooh.
Yep.
Oh.
The blast destroys them, and then one more shot.
And I do not think I will delay this time.
Did you?
Um,
Probably a good call.
and I will shuffle back into my hide from enemy corner.
In the
Do you want to
circular room.
activate the tumult?
Um,
It will hit 2 of your allies, but 2 of your enemies as well.
Do it. You
I'd
coward.
have to. Let's see. I'm at
What does
3 after
tumult
that.
do?
Yeah.
1 burst
um,
damage, I think.
Let's see. The Doomguard isn't frostbitten, is he? No.
He is now.
You just made him frostbitten, yeah.
Sure. Sure. I will tumult.
Mute.
So everyone around it takes 2 damage? Question mark.
Yeah. The exception.
I
They're all
spent-
vulnerable. Yeah.
I spent 1 ether, so he's taking 2 damage. And that Tomb Guard is now frostbitten.
Well, characters in the area are inflicted with frostbite or take with. Oh, okay. So
And
I just become frostbite.
yeah, sorry, but
That's fine.
I don't think they even do frostbite. These guys, like, they use fire.
no.
But what does
So
happen?
we're
I-
frostbitten. Okay.
Hey.
The final shot, as this tumult washes over the guy, just ices him. This
Nice.
All
blood grove
right.
is growing by 2.
No,
It's a
maximum
maximum of
3. So
3.
1 more grow is it? I think.
Yeah, it grew
Yeah.
once. It will grow
Maximum-
2 more times.
oh, you're right.
It has
Or-
a max 3 though. Oh yeah, you're right. I see it.
No,
I see it.
it grows. It grows 2 times max up to blast
Under-
3.
Increase the size of the zone
by +1
1,
up to a maximum of 3.
maximum size.
So it can be
of 3.
increased by +3. That's pretty wild.
Isn't it?
All right, everyone. The Blood
Big.
Grove has grown. Blood for the Blood Grove. Maybe. Let's find out. Because the Tomb Guard is a little bit different than this fire guy.
Oh.
But let's see. Nah, don't even worry about it. Not an issue. All right.
It is their turn, I think, right? Tomb Guards or
Whose turn?
whose turn? Yes, I
Doggo
mean,
was
whose-
taking a slow turn, so it's a completely new round.
Ah.
It is a new round. All right. Top of the round is out. We no longer have any vision on the ghost as everyone has stepped out of the way of the door.
The plant does not either. Oof.
Does the plant even have vision? I don't think it does.
I don't think so. I can click it and see, which you might want to fix, but if you can, I don't know. But
Did the Tomb Guard?
I just won't click it.
He didn't have any ranged options, did he?
The Tomb Guard did not appear to have ranged
Yeah.
options, but you don't
Alright.
know.
So it's our turn, right?
It is your turn.
I'd like to go and
Okay.
lock him in while we wait for this ghost.
Okay.
Should I should stay there? Hold on, I'd have to move.
Oh, this guy hasn't even been hurt. Jeez.
What if the ghost's thing is he goes through the floor and then pushes people off the...
The ghost hucks like giant exploding balls of necrotic energy at people.
Yeah, I'm going to... Oh, do I get to teleport one before it? I need to learn my shit. When you enter the sands, or anytime you teleport, blah blah blah. Teleport. Oh. Okay, so I'll just mark it with electromagnetism. And then teleport 2 away. Hitting him with a bolt for 1 damage. I don't
Okay.
think he's vulnerable. And then I will... Yeah, I'll cast a Warding Wind here. By infusing it 1, yeah. That's 5, but it's fine. And that's my turn. That's everything I can do. Alright, so hopefully he's not a problem for now. Where did I...
Yeah, this guy has been locked in the gay baby jail and therefore will no longer be relevant in the combat as they cannot get out by any means. So I'm just going to actually remove this combatant.
That's the one that was summoned. Or the card one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, points imaginary, or not imaginary, emergency first aid is available.
Point, are you stepping out of that? You're gonna turn the blender on.
Yeah, point. Get back there.
He still has a shot.
I mean, as long as you
Hmm.
end your turn on it, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. Going to go out, shoot, and then stand back on. Because he
I
does.
mean, he can do that.
Has the ghost only been hit by like fray damage so far, right?
You know what? Here's how we're going to do this. I don't know if Point is aware, so I'm just going to roll intelligence save to see if Point is able to figure this. Yeah, Point is a genius when it comes to magic technology and arcanistry. He would know that. Alright, so this is one boon. Big hit. No crit.
Still 16 damage.
Still 16 damage. The ghost...
Nice.
Or is it?
Uh-oh. Pause and roll a d6, watch.
Nah, it's fine.
Okay.
That's
Undead
not-
or spell.
Damn. Phase 2 would have been cool.
A little bit dangerous to leave that spot, but I think we've got this one in the bag. Just a matter of taking out these last tomb gods.
I only see the one. Where's the other?
It's been shambling around up there. And with that, actually, this encounter is over. They're
Yeah,
walled off.
We pick him off. We take turns throwing rocks at it.
We could just leave the room and it would get blended.
Oh, you should do
Okay.
that. Just like at the end, you just all leave the room as this guy is in, and you just hear. Until eventually the blending stops.
And it's not as like spread out as much because if you only put like a little bit into a food processor, it just shoots it to the side and then stops grinding it up.
Oven, if you want a blessing token, you can eat the fruit that's on this square. And get a
I mean, the
vigor.
combat's gonna end, so it won't matter, right?
We might have another in the future, so you'll have the vigor by the time that combat starts. If that makes sense. Right? I think that's how that works.
Does
I think
vigor
everything goes away
persist?
when the combat ends, right?
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
vigor?
you heal up to half and lose vigor.
Oh, you heal up to half. Yeah, okay, you can have vigor if you're.
All right. Everyone who is below half, heal up to half.
Yeah.
I'm one above half.
All right. Inside this room, there is a treasure chest that is connected to some sort of contraption. There is also a much larger mechanism, which is separate from the contraption. So the mechanism is very obvious. It is this large metal thing in the center of the room. There is some sort of like a pipe that is connected to some deeper mechanism. No, deeper into like the guts of the ship, I suppose, but you don't know exactly where it leads or what the function of this is. Nonetheless, this thing is moving on its own, and you don't know what it's doing.
So we just ripped the chest up, right? Save us the last one.
I could take a cursory glance at it first.
A cursory glance? That sounds desperate to me.
But will that put us in a desperate situation?
No, I'm just joking. It's up to you
Okay.
what position you explore this dungeon. Either way, fighting does advance the dungeon clock. There's no way around it,
Yes.
but this is
But it's
offset
still lower.
by the reinforcements that you've drawn.
All right, I'm gonna go up and riskily look at the treasure chest for traps.
All right. Note that looking is
Artifacts.
not the same as disarming or doing anything. I should mention
Yes.
this room has two braziers. It has a beautiful sort of pattern leading up to this room, which signifies that this room, to some extent, is important for some reason, though you're not certain what it is. And there are rooms
Could-
to your left and your right that can be explored. There is also
I
a
would
wall that
actually-
is glitching out, and you can see through it into the void for some reason.
Is there?
I would like to use parable here. And the about a specific path of action. Any path of action. I guess I can't do that. Just like a general sense of the room.
Why is it in the wall?
I want to get a sense of this chest specifically, because it sounds like
Okay.
I have to... yeah.
Certainly.
Well, what action are you taking on the chest?
This is sense.
Okay.
But what is the path? The path of...
This is the path of flame.
Alright, I will roll risky +1.
You look at the chest. You determine that the chest is 100% trapped. It is connected to, again, some sort of contraption. Or rather, it's connected to some sort of mechanism. The contraption is in the middle of the room. There's no relation there.
Looking into that mechanism in the middle of the room, does it look like it would shoot up flame if we open it?
The mechanism does not look like it would shoot up flame. The mechanism is just like this very large, like, sort of pendulum thing that is connected to gears, and the pendulum causes the gears to periodically advance. Then the gears descend deeper into the bowels of the ship. Exactly what this does, or what the purpose of the mechanism is which this, or rather, so we've got the thing in the center of the room, we've got the chest. The chest is connected to something which eventually leads into this pipe that we can also see here.
But not the thing in the center?
The center is of no relation. They just happen to be in the same room together.
Is the chest, like, attached to the ground or anything, or is it just sitting there?
The chest appears to be attached into the ground. Furthermore, you also hear a faint sound coming from within, just a pure tone.
Did I see how the trap activates?
You are not able to see how the trap activates. You are able to see what would happen if it activates, but you don't know, like, perfectly how to disarm it. You do gain a bonus to disarming it because you know where it's connected to.
Alright.
This would, however, be another roll. You did not get a critical success.
What about Dougal? Dougal seems pretty good at disabling traps.
Yeah.
I mean, I can give it a go. It's not the exact same thing as that last one.
There's a lever in the other room, mate. I just opened the door. Probably shouldn't have done that, but there is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lever. It doesn't mean it's necessarily related.
Girl, can you open the other door?
Okay, I open it.
What's in there?
There's another lever.
Another lever?
What if we pull them at the same time?
Alright.
Why would you think that would do something?
I think that's a good idea.
No.
Let's try doing it and see what happens.
I feel like
what
that
are
would
these?
activate two traps at once and separate us
these
all.
They're
braziers?
Braziers or brazers, however they're pronounced, yeah.
2 on each side of the room. What's this paw? Is that a paw?
It's a floor decoration.
Are they both equally lit? The braziers, and they look the same as well.
They are identical, they are equally lit, and they are magically lit, to the point where there's no fuel to this fire.
Okay, so I don't think there's anything to really glean from that. What is this pipe? What about this pipe here?
Unclear.
Okay.
It's somehow connected to this whole system.
Yeah. I think...
Is there any noise coming from the pipe? Like, is there liquid flowing through it, or...?
That would be a subsequent sense check. Similarly, it would be a check to open the chest up.
It's not just like blatantly obvious.
It's not blatantly obvious that there's anything going through the pipe. So to investigate further would be a further check.
Urge to rip it off, rising.
Uh, Is there what does the chest look like? Does it look like it has a traditional like lock and key system on it, or is there something else going on with it?
There is some sort of an opening mechanism that appears to open from the inside. There's no visible way to interface with it.
Can I look? What's? Is there like a down in this, or is that just like the floor that I can see within the inside?
This thing goes from the ceiling to the floor. There is a pendulum which appears to swing.
Oh.
There's like some sort of a ball in the center that you can kind of see. The ball is like swinging back and forth. You don't know what the mechanism is supposed to do. This contraption, this in the large.
The levers are going to tilt the entire spaceship. Like if you did it on the right, it would tilt to the right or something.
Gruel points to the south. Another room. Should we see that first, then come back?
I came here for treasure, mate. So I do want to open that chest. That's my vote.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah, but what if there are two more levers down to the south and we have to do all four at the same time?
That would be unnecessarily complex, but it's possible. This was made by Bell, wasn't it?
Supposedly.
Right, you'll have a +1D to it.
Well, I want to be
If you're
nearby
gonna
in case it
tinker.
loads.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be back a bit.
I've never been hurt by an explosion in my life.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out if I actually improved my skills on level up last time.
You should have 12 pips if you're level 2.
Yeah, I should have 12.
I don't. That's going into Tinker, because that's a thing I want Dougal to be good at. So.
We figured this out before session because we were also wondering.
Yeah, because I had been using there's 2 tables in the PDF that are different, and I was using the wrong one, so I was off.
Okay, so this will be +1D risky.
Okay.
Oh, I see. I could have chosen safe. Oh well.
I see Zephyr hiding in the pit, nested between the blood grove for protection.
It's crazy that you could just put a pit into the spaceship.
Yeah, it's just indented
I
in.
see a 6. Nice.
All right.
Rolling good this session.
This chest opens from the inside. There's no way about it. You cannot get in. There's nothing you can do to get into the chest from the outside. So, naturally, what you have to do is put something inside and open it from the inside out. Dougal, how do you magically achieve this goal?
May change.
Is it an airtight seal, like, around the opening of the chest?
It's not perfectly airtight.
Okay, then I think Notes is going to drift over, and like Notes is not especially well bound, because Dougal did it himself. So some like a trail of loose papers come out and just like slide in through that crack, just paper thin, and like just kind of reaches up in there and click.
Now, unfortunately, this locking mechanism is designed to lock. It's literally connected to some other part of the ship. So you are able to click it up, but it pushes down.
Okay.
Right. So there is something else we have to do.
Wait. Let me try this. Pushes it up, and Dougal casts Stick.
It pushes down, it tries, but it fails. You feel like a pneumatic release as whatever gas was in here is vented safely in a way that does not cause the entire room to explode. Then
Oh, good.
it
Fail
opens up.
safes.
Inside, there is sort of like a tiny crystal ball that once again gives off like a very faint tone. However, when you look at it very carefully, there appears to be like a tiny little compass inside.
You said there was a ball on the pendulum. What's that about? Does it...
There's a giant brass ball on the pendulum which is connected to the ceiling, and then this appears to like control the timing of the greater mechanism that surrounds it. The pendulum is entombed essentially, or rather encaged inside these gears. It is not immediately obvious what the purpose of this device is, nor what ways you would have to interface with it. It is also clearly unrelated to this treasure chest, because the treasure chest has been opened with no clear change to this.
It's a what way is it pointing now?
It appears to be pointing towards the southwest. South-southwest when Douglas holding it.
It's leading to the other side of the ship.
Do you guys
No.
pull yourselves out of the pit at this point? Or are you still there?
Well, did the pit actually remain?
Yeah, it's just like an indentation in the floor.
Oh. I'd probably be wandering around.
It is now pointing to the west, Dougal.
The west. Is it going to like the lever?
Over here.
It is now pointing east. A little bit
Yeah.
south. It gets a little bit more south as you move. It's pointing east. It's spinning rapidly around as you stand next to Gruel.
In the pit?
Wait.
Or is it pointing to Gruel? Gruel, get out of the pit. I'll reach down and help her out.
Huh.
That is pointing distinctly towards Gruel now that you realize what's going on here.
All right. We'll never have to worry about finding Gruel again.
No, I think you should give it to Gruel.
Yeah, here.
Yeah, it's like the other Divinium objects.
Gruel takes it and looks at it.
As soon as you grab it, like you feel just a pulse and the tone gets a little bit louder, then it quiets completely. You can control the volume of the tone mentally, Gruel.
Oof. Gruel's gonna control it to make it really loud.
Alright, you jump scare everyone with the audio, despite me telling everyone to lower their audio at the beginning.
What does it do other than make noise?
Gruel shrugs her shoulders. It's like what is this? It's like an orb?
It's an orb that, like, when you look at it very carefully, it has sort of like a holographic display of a compass inside of it that seems to always point towards you.
Gruel's gonna grab her staff and like take off the orb that's currently in it, like roll it out, and then plop this one into its place.
Nice. The staff has now been enchanted.
Is
She's gonna
it
jump.
pointing at you? Is it pointing at you or something you're carrying? Did you pick anything up?
Gruel
It's
sort
you.
of.
This is what it does above board so that you all know how it functions.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, anyways, it behaves like the other Divinium objects we found. It draws towards someone.
Now,
Oh wow, just 2 free tokens.
the reason why these 2 tokens are especially good is because of this ability that Gruul has.
Yes, sir. Just got to get a third one and then slay.
When
I can just
you
use-
or your
Yeah, that's real good.
Ah,
oh dang.
the slay one especially, actually, because I have eventually I'll have more slay abilities. But slay ones seem to be really good. Like this, synergizes really well with that.
Yep.
oh yeah. How fast does the mechanism in the middle spin?
It's quite slow. You just hear like sort of like a tick, 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 and then after 4 ticks, it grinds 1. It's pretty slow, but it is steady and it is quite loud when the actual gears start to move. The pendulum swinging is not very hard either. It's a very faint sway, a little bit back to the left, a little bit to the right.
I want to try to stop it. Since
Okay.
It's going slowly. So
Uh,
physically just try and stop it for like
Okay.
1 tick.
Go
Make it,
ahead
like, 1
and
tick
give me
away.
a smash check here.
Yeah, that's risky. Stop the clock. Oh, well, okay. What are my options?
Well, first of all, this is going to advance our clock by 1. Your options here: complication occurs, or you end up in a desperate position.
Let's go for a complication.
All right. A beautiful complication occurs, Oven, as you grab onto like the ball, like the pendulum inside. It suddenly like reverses and sucks you in. You are now inside the ball. When you enter into the ball, you can see that the 2 braziers immediately stop, lighting up distinctly darker, and they each have a sort of an indentation, a receptacle to.
You just cut out.
Owen? I look into the pendulum. He touched the ball at the end of it, right?
Yep.
Can I look at it? Do I see can I see his form in there?
Oven just inside this large brass ball now.
Like I could see a
Oven.
little Owen in there.
No, it's just a large brass ball that Oven has been sucked into.
Owen, can you hear us?
Can I hear them?
Yeah, you can hear them. Strangely enough, you can breathe in here as well.
Guys, I didn't think that was possible. I can't normally go through brass.
No, that's
It did something. And I kind of walk over to the put out braziers. Can you do anything? Or do you
If
feel
I
like
feel
you
along
could-
the brass, does it seem like I could do anything?
As you do, you notice the interior of this is marked with glowing runes.
Can I study these ruins?
Yes. I will give you a boon. This is absolutely something that you would be
I'm
interested in.
Absolutely terrible at this, but okay. Study ruins. I'm assuming this is risky.
Nope, this is controlled, as this is like an automatic safe thing. It's a fortune check.
Guys, I don't understand any of these ruins. Theirs is very complicated.
It is incredibly complicated. However, don't let this failure get in the way of adding a new progress clock. 6. Oh, just you've not made any progress on it. If you had succeeded, you would have like gained a bonus.
What do I call this? Brass?
Actually, yeah.
Ballroom?
Could we take?
Well, guys, I don't want to really smash this to get out because that would be a terrible loss.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
fine though.
Alright, I think there's two possibilities here. Number one, we've got to put something inside these braziers. Number two, we have to pull the levers, and then the third possibility is that Irvin just breaks the ball, and I think he could do that pretty easily. What do you think?
I think the braziers, because the
Yeah.
They went
No,
out.
I think it's the levers. Like,
But it looked like the great. Well, we don't even know what the levers do, so yeah, we should pull one.
let's.
What's the worst that could happen? I guess.
That's true. I mean, the worst that could happen, mate, is that this ball gets sucked deeper inside where you are then squished to death.
That's not a question we need answered.
You should probably be ready to flip the other switch in case you need to do both.
When you pull the do you pull the lever, Doug, or are you waiting for Zephyr?
I am waiting. All right,
should
let's. 3,
Should we pull it?
2, 1, pull.
Pull.
Hey. You pull the levers at the same time, and when you do, Gruel and Point notice in this room that the braziers have sort of like a covering that descends over them. The cover pulls them inside the brazier, so like the open place where the fire would be, it's sort of like a bubble appears over it and then drags down deeper into the ship. The fire lights up again, and Oven is spat ball. Nothing happened.
Oh,
Are you okay? I just give another cursory glance. Sees like all the limbs are in the right places.
Yep.
yeah, I seem fine. But we got to get that ball. It's got really important stuff in it.
I think your
Alright.
left horn and your right horn switched.
I don't think so,
Well,
but I
really?
do think we should introduce a new ground rule when investigating a ship that was made by Bale to fight the gods, which is don't trust strange mechanical things that we don't know about.
Yes! Yes, thank you. I
Oh, we were trying to
appreciate that.
In order to learn, you must do.
No.
And I touched the ball.
No. Do it.
No. Do you want it? Should we go back in there and take some markings of those runes so you can study them later?
Oven, I think you can memorize them.
Okay.
I just wanted to establish that.
Mhm.
All right.
So this progress clock essentially is just, I don't know what these runes are, but let's find out later.
I wonder if that's where you control the ship.
I don't think so, mate. I don't think they put people in a bowl to do that, but maybe they do, and you need
No, have it.
maybe you need the compass to find out where you are from inside the bowl.
Where you are from inside the ball.
Perhaps this ship was designed to find Gruel.
But this ship is
That
thousands
makes
of years old.
no sense.
Well, then why do they have a compass that points to Gruel?
Maybe
Well,
it's
they also
not
had a
real
cape
specifically, but people like
They had
it.
They had a cape that pointed to Oven.
Wasn't there
Well,
supposed to be
they-
a star map or something in here?
Oh yeah, something about the star map. That's probably
Gruel.
not what Carl wants us to find.
Probably not, but I mean, Gruel is also related to star things, right?
That's true. That's a fair
And the
point.
compass is pointing to Gruel.
What's the decor on this ship like? Could I get a sense of what it might have looked like in its day? A kind of sense of what they wanted. I don't know, the aesthetics of Bale in a ship. Is it gruesome or is it what?
So there's a combination of mechanical things that seem simultaneously ancient and more modern than anything that you've seen before. And then on the other hand, they've clearly put a veneer of stone around everything. In this indentation, as you've pushed it aside and broken up some of the stone tiling that you were standing on, you can see that there's metal underneath it. An undercurrent behind all of it. And they've placed this stone on top of it just to make the interior seem a bit more familiar and homely to people. Nonetheless, however, as you're looking around, aside from these like incredibly intricate mechanical things that you've seen, there are like death traps everywhere. It is a very strange juxtaposition of both friendly and extremely hostile.
Could just be so foreign to us that we can't comprehend its purpose. I mean, not only is he separated by thousands of years of time, but Baal. How could we relate to him?
Hey, Zephyr,
That's more of a philosophy.
what do you think about
Yeah.
this pipe, then?
I don't know. I got the feeling that I think that wasn't that part of the gas trap.
Maybe,
I-
probably. There
I
might be
thought the
gas
way it
flowing
was
through it,
described.
or fuel
Yeah.
of some kind.
Can I go look at this? Is the chest open still?
The chest is stuck open due to Douglas' use of the
Oh
cantrip.
yes. Is there like a quiet hiss of like a gas trickle? Like, does it refill itself after a while?
You notice looking at the chest now that the connection of the pipe into the chest makes a lot more sense because there is like a connection deeper in. We noted before that the chest is connected inside the ground, and now as you look into it, it is 100% obvious to you that this pipe is to funnel gas into the chest.
Yeah.
However,
Okay.
the gas is not flowing at the moment, presumably because the chest is open.
Let's leave that chest open then. Yeah, I think that's just the gas line.
If
So
we
if-
put, oh, sorry, go on.
Oh well, I was gonna suggest you do something very risky, and we rip the pipe off, and then you transform into a small animal and go through it to look.
I don't think that's a great idea.
I'd recommend
think-
against it because
There's explosive gas in that pipe.
yeah, that's the word.
But it's not
Do
flowing
we-
through because the
do we-
chest is open.
Do we need to go down pipe?
Well, the pipe could still be under pressure. The valve probably closer to the chest. You know, opening the chest probably doesn't shut off a closing valve way down the line. It probably shuts it off here. Every time I've seen a cartoon where they try to, go through of pipe carrying, steam or poison gas, it doesn't go well.
Why would you try to go through a pipe holding poison gas?
I'm just trying to figure out why we want to go. Like, what's there to
Yeah,
Like,
let's-
I think
Curiosity, and you know
I
what
think we should
curiosity
keep
does?
going here.
we
Like,
we still
It's
we still
we have
South-
another side of the ship to explore.
If South
yes. There
Wing
may
has
be
nothing
more pipes
interesting,
down there.
then maybe pipe.
Before we do that, can we take like a 5-minute break?
Yeah, I was about to suggest that exact thing.
Hooray!
I really got to use the bathroom. All right. We'll get that pipe next time.
Oh,
I'm gonna wait until you leave the room and then rip it off.
oh my goodness.
No, I won't.
I'm
Hello.
Danny coming in
Hello.
changed everything. Oh, there we are.
Hello.
I was wondering when Danny was going to come. I did not expect him to be Dennis and
Yeah.
Dennis
Second
and Dee's
season.
father.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. I knew he was in it, but I didn't expect it. That's pretty wild.
The stuff they have him do that he's totally game to do for the show he's just amazing. I don't want to give too much away if you're just like 2 seasons in.
Yeah, just like almost done season 2. So.
Yeah. They really start to hit their groove pretty soon. And then they kind of hold it. There's not a huge dip in quality.
Nice. Yeah, season 3 is the highest Rotten Tomatoes score, so I'm excited to start that.
Let's see. I'm gonna look at what episodes are in that.
I mean, that it might not mean anything. It could just be like not even the best season, but yeah.
We good to go?
I think
We
everyone's
are.
here. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, season 3 is good.
Or no, so I was gonna say season 4 and 3. Yeah, those are both highly.
Yeah,
rated.
I'm not
4
surprised. 4 is really good. Yeah, 3. I think 3 is where it really starts to get really good. Like they've totally found their own voice, their own style.
Season 4 is 100 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm not surprised. Oh yeah, because season 4 has The Nightman Cometh, which is one of the greatest episodes. Oh man, I think season 4 was out.
The night, man.
Yeah, season 4 was out when I started watching it, so I got to see. Yeah, The Nightman.
Nice.
Are we going to move? Or are we going to
Oh,
stay in this
yeah,
room?
yeah,
What's the
I
plan?
don't know. Stream is still on taking a break screen. So.
Oh,
They're
Yeah,
not-
we're waiting on.
it's my fault.
the Aether Pilgrims were just talking about their favorite drama that they used to see back in Mistfell. Yeah, like
yeah,
a play.
I don't know what this Philadelphia you said it was. I don't know what that
Philadelphia,
is.
Miss Philadelphia.
It's never rainy in Mist Philadelphia.
Yeah. All right.
It's always misty.
Where's Flying Man? We need him to push the thing to turn it off.
Hey.
All right. I will stand here while everyone passes, and then I'll just float.
I don't see. Where are you?
And I'll float.
Looks like
All
the
right,
same trap again. Yeah.
Can I do a?
I was
What
just
is the
saying you could
trap
just
set? It's
do the same thing here.
yeah. All right. All right, everyone through.
Is it
Nothing
Is it
bad will
safe?
happen.
Yeah, Zephyr's on a square.
Yes,
girl's gonna like bow her head? Thank you, Zephyr.
you're welcome.
Uh,
I see a sliver of something.
So
I
you
guess
can-
Gruul will hold the other one so that Zephyr can pass. I guess.
All right.
They're enemies?
I mean, Zephyr can just fly over it anyways, so you won't trigger the thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad. Okay,
So
well,
he can go last. Yeah.
my bad. Oops,
Whoop.
there you go.
There
Oh.
are racks of stuff.
What? Is this a excavation site? Let me get into the room. Oop. Into here. What is
Inside this room, you can see that there is areas where the metal has actually been completely scratched. Or, rather, the stone has been scratched and cut through to the point where the water actually extends deeper, and you can swim into other rooms if you'd like. There is a metal door. Similarly, there's a brazier. It seems to be very common in this type of room. And there are a bunch of different weapons on a shack. On a rack, rather.
Rack.
Like
Alright,
regular weapons we recognize, or
These
like-
are war hammers. They're fairly standard in design. There is an emblem on it which none of you would be able to recognize.
Or we'll take one.
All right, you get a warhammer.
I mean, the emblem might come in handy. Just be able to reference it.
Fair. All right, what's behind next?
Legal.
Is this water draining in, by the way? Sorry, I forgot to. Maybe I missed that.
The door is closed. The water goes to the south. The door cannot easily be opened.
Okay.
Wow, but I just easily opened it.
Yeah, that's why I said illegal. It's not canon. You did not do this.
All right. Does it have a keyhole or?
What if we use the water to put the brazier out?
That
It does not have like any clear mechanism for open. There is a brazier. And
that's
putting
like,
out fire.
good
open
idea,
the door.
Zephyr.
You want to do
Rules
the
gonna
honors, Dougal?
Oh, go for it.
Sure. Dougal just kind of scoops up some water and dumps it on the fire.
It's magically lit.
right, so that will be some sort of a tinker check. You could
All
kindly-
right.
I don't know how you fail to move water, but
I failed to move enough water.
How is
Dougal
it
has
picking to use
small
magic?
wizard hands.
we are
But
rolling
you
to interface with the trap here. The trap that you assume is there, rather, or the locking mechanism, or whatever else.
Yeah.
Yes. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay. The reason why we're rolling here is because of the dungeon clock, everybody.
All right.
access unauthorized.
So
Alright.
partial success is still no advancement on the clock, right?
Yeah. Sorry, risky
risk.
partial success is advancing the clock.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
actually,
right.
you turn off the lights. Good thing Zephyr has a light.
Do we hear a click?
No,
Anything?
you have turned off the lights in this room.
Let's look at the brazier. The last ones had stuff interesting about it when they went out. Anything
It
like
is
that? Like,
so the fire has been lit by magic.
mhm.
The fire has been put out, and what's interesting, as a consequence, that there's just going to be no way to reactivate this.
Well, crud.
What if we take like one of the hammer's marks and touch the door
No.
with it or something?
Yeah,
maybe,
what if it's like a
maybe
key?
it's activated that way.
Yeah,
I
Gruel,
don't know
put
why
the,
they would ever do that, but
Gruel like sort of like perks up as soon as she hears Zephyr say her name. Yes.
Yeah, put the hammer's like emblem up against the door.
Gruel like she probably like has her staff like slung over or something, or put on there like resting up against a wall or something. She's like carrying the warhammer. It's like wobbling. She could barely hold it, and she like barely manages to like rest it up against the door.
All right, the hammer rests against the door for a bit. You get the feeling that if you were to let go, that it would, the weight of the hammer would prop it up, which wouldn't like keep the door out, but you wouldn't have to carry the hammer anymore.
Gruel just leaves the hammer by the door.
All right, the hammer is resting against the door.
Well, we could take a look underwater.
or there's some mechanism hidden in the rack of weapons, or it's activated somewhere else, or
Gruel looks at where the water is coming in from. Where's it coming in from, Pug?
Where's the water coming in from? You notice that the water has stopped going up. very recently. This water is quite stagnant and it's been here for quite some time. However, this area has been very badly damaged recently, and you notice that there is a pipe in the room beneath you that you cannot see from here. I will allow you to see in a secret view that only Gruul can see. Stream audience.
I knew we should have gone through the pipe.
Should I go to Twitch?
Gruul, you'll be able to see this. Please ignore this rock, this wood. The wood is not
Okay.
cannon wood. So there is a room that you can see to your left, and there is a cave to your right that you can swim and gain access to from like beneath the water. You can investigate either room. Doing so will be a traverse check, and this will be, again, up to you how careful you want to be. If you are not careful, then if there's someone in the other rooms, then you will be seen because you are not being careful.
Okay.
Or you can just let people know this right away without investigating. Also, you have the Aether Pearl, so you can just tell them telekinetically.
Not yet.
We
It's
didn't
just a
upgrade them
talk. There's still like walkie-talkies.
Okay. Yeah, then you wouldn't be able to say anything because you're underwater.
Okay, Gruul will come back up, let everyone. Like, I'm seeing this by like putting my eye through a hole. I'm guessing. Is that how I'm seeing this? Or
Well, you're looking under the water, right?
under the water, right?
So when
okay.
you look under, you can see that there's clearly a way to go left and there's a way to go right.
Right, and then it becomes like not water again, right? That's this area here, yeah. Like the gray. Okay.
The gray is like going deeper, essentially.
Ah, okay.
So like you will have to traverse to go deeper, but from here, this is sort of what you can see. There's clearly a way to go to the room to the left, and there's clearly a cave that you can gain access to.
Gruul will stick her head up, back up underwater, come back to the room. Cave, other side of wall. I can swim through if want.
I could go with you.
Are you guys good swimmers?
I don't need to
Gruul
breathe.
That is a benefit.
I am not a good swimmer. I am.
I'll go.
I'm a good swimmer, but I'm a bit big, so if it's a tight fit.
It's not particularly tight from what you can see, Gruul.
Okay, I'll go through.
Alright, go ahead and roll. Traverse.
Alright.
Should I roll as well?
You should roll as well. The penalty for failure for you, Zephyr, is not going to be harm or anything like that because you can hold your breath. It's taking too long in advancing the clock.
Is it controlled or risky or desperate?
This one is just risky for the sake of rolling dynamics. Because you're not...
You just done this as a group.
Yeah.
Yeah, could we do a group roll?
Yes, Gruul, would you like to spurt?
We're not outnumbered or what's the... Of course
Well,
we're not.
Huh?
Oh. Okay.
The roll is on the table at this point here. It is what it is, ultimately, at the end of the day. So that is a failure. I'm going to advance the clock by 1. But again, the penalty is just that you take your time, slowly swimming.
What's it at now? Alright, it's still under it. Oh, now we're at half. That's fine. Alright.
The dungeon clock is under character too, so you
Yeah.
don't need to go up there to look at it.
Yeah, I'm just moving so the
Oh, cool.
to move it this room, just to be thorough.
Cool.
But the dungeon clock has disappeared. Anyways, it's half full. Alright, everyone. If you are not in the room, please switch. Inside there is Partially transparent.
It's like a living, breathing, like actual angel, not like a statue or something, right?
Yes, however, they are partially transparent and purple.
They awake?
They turn as if to face you, but they don't ever look at you.
What
Protocol
do sorry.
and tradition suggest I stand in opposition to you, yet I have no legs to stand on. Returning conquerors and strangers alike, I bid my earnest greetings. I am Ora Ornaud.
Oh,
Uh,
that's a harbinger.
Hello. We are Zephyr and Gruel.
Pog, what do we know about harbingers? Other than the names that Vanille wrote in his book.
The
Nothing.
names that Vanille wrote in his book. That's what you know.
Okay. Gruel's gonna speak up. All right, what do Shelmaritians think of angels, actually? That's a good question. Are they revered, or...?
It depends on the angel. Angels have a number of different things that you can see about them. So, for example, an angel with a halo, every angel has a halo. Remember that? That's the only thing you need to know about angels in Luskalia. If you forget everything else, remember, every angel has a halo. If they do not have a halo, they're not an angel. Or they're Clayborn. But the color of an angel's halo determines their station. So, an angel on their own is going to have a glowing golden halo. Very nice. An angel in service to the depths has a blue halo. An angel in service to Kanshan Bal has a red halo. An angel in service to the Feywild has a green halo. Straightforward, right? If an angel has a black halo, they have fallen out of service of the gods.
Okay, and then so she has a red halo, I take it?
Her halo is cleaved in half. Moreover, it is completely white.
What did that one mean?
This
White
has
means
never
which-
occurred before. There is no recorded literature on what it means to have a white halo. Remember, a golden halo is assigned to the gods.
Right. An angel on their own has a glowing golden halo. An angel in service to the depths has a blue halo. Conscience Ball has angels have red halos. Feywild green halos. Black is fallen. Okay. Gruel is going to sort of kneel, sort of in reverence. Oh angel, I do not know. Old halo, cut in half. I am not certain, but praise 6. I am Shell Mauritian, druid.
I appear angelic, yes, but a form is merely a depiction of one's outer self into the outer world. My split halo is a depiction of my inner self.
So you feel conflict within yourself, or split in half? Hello?
Or Arnaud just kind of looks at you. Conflict is an incorrect view of myself. I cannot have conflict. Conflict is for things that exist.
So you don't exist. We've come across a couple of those things.
Are you?
I do not exist, and yet I do.
Are you okay? Reality crashed a long time ago.
It is strange, you beings, that you sleep, and in sleep your soul connects to others. I, when I sleep, am not.
So you're just down here alone?
I waited here as long as the requisite time suggests. Others would have action, but to act before actions are active is akin to a dreamer insisting their dreams will persist. The realm of possibility there must not be of note. We must understand when our actions will cause act upon the world.
So, what are you doing down here?
I am here.
Why are you here in
also
this
not here.
cave?
I was brought here against my will. I was not in existence at the time, but I now exist. Here is as good a place as any.
What are you waiting for?
I am waiting to awaken.
When will awaken?
When the world ends.
When will world end?
That depends when this dream ends. My world is not yours. You, mortal beings, so arrogant, you believe your world is the only that matters.
Gruul
We're
shakes
kind
her
of
head.
stuck here.
My world, only world I can walk on.
I have the same sentiments.
She smiles at you.
Are you gonna do anything now that we're here? Or are you gonna just keep staying here? Oh, actually! What's the water like? Is this water near him particularly difficult for me to be in?
No.
Is this so? This is not the source of the ether within.
It appears that Aura or Naud is not the source of the water. Or the ether,
Okay.
rather.
Okay.
What is Harbinger?
I am referred to as a Harbinger, but this is a role assigned to me. You have not picked your name as well.
So it's both a name and a descriptor, a title.
Tell me, why is it that you wear these masks? I preferred your earlier masks. He did not.
That's to Gruul, right?
She's looking at both of you.
Ooh,
I don't wear a mask.
she's making a dream reference.
Hey, Haster.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. She's not making a dream reference. I don't know.
Oh.
Gruul would like take off her her sleeker skull. This mask, like she'd be confused.
She just, stares at you.
Is there anything in here? What's this trough-looking thing back here?
She steps aside as if to let you look at it.
Yeah, I'll walk along here. Is there writing on it?
There is. It is written very plainly. Do not open. And then in small text underneath, Fira fell.
Ooh.
Fear. What's this about?
Firafel, another harbinger. Motfel relative, says Viniel.
Oh,
My sister, my comrade, the disaster, the coming storm, your demise.
Is Chest keeping you here?
No,
are you guarding the chest?
no,
This is a chest, right?
it is a coffin,
A coffin.
a place
Okay.
where the sleeping are made to rest.
So your sister's in there dreaming?
She looks at the blatantly empty coffin.
Uh,
Oh, someone opened it.
is
Who
that where
opened
you were
Chest?
sleeping?
No,
Who opened Chest?
Fiora fell.
What was in Chest?
Fiora fell.
So yeah,
Firafel
she
opened
was in
Chest
there.
themselves.
She woke up.
Immediately began planning the storm. I do not see any need to rush. It is the fate of all
The
things to
storm.
die. When does it matter when?
People should get some choice in that. What storm are you talking about? The one from a few years ago?
She just stares you in the eyes, and something about her eyes is familiar to you.
Okay. Were you watching me?
She cocks her head to the side as if confused. Begins to flicker.
Like her form begins to flicker?
She's beginning to fade away.
Wait, no. How can save you?
I cannot be saved. I was killed a long time ago.
Who killed?
Night sky staring down. Is it the eyes in the vision that was staring down at me, different from the creature with 3 eyes?
Find the star map. You feel like immediate tension comes out as if she's like about to kill you. And then
Ooh.
she's gone.
Damn.
This
Never
room
had
is
to
now pitch black. Aside from Zephyr's light, that is. It seems she was a source of light as well.
Feels bad. I never got to ask who assigned her harbinger role.
As she has left the room, the tension in the air absolutely palpable as an unbearable amount of malice comes from that open coffin. Zephyr, Gruel, you sense something incredibly evil was here.
We should get away from this.
We'll close the coffin. Hopefully, like,
It, to an extent, makes things feel quite a bit better.
We should let the others know we're okay.
The dungeon
It took
clock
a long time to open the door, huh?
advances.
Yeah, it's
You can investigate the room to the left, or you can go back and meet with the group, Zephyr Gruel.
Where are our exits? What's our options here? What's this
Exits
thing?
are go up. Going up will lead you back. Please ignore that. That is a glitch. You can
Okay.
also go to the room to the west, which you've not explored in any capacity.
I
Just
think
a
we should.
room.
do that person.
Oh, is this whole outside area like open? What's the connection like between these two spots?
The connection between these two spots is an underground cave, which I was not able to model because doing so would involve multi-layered maps, and I didn't want to do a multi-layer purely
Oh.
for this water.
So there is another room to the west.
That's correct.
I can like.
You can visibly see the other room to the west, because that was
Okay.
always an option. You just went to the cave first.
I say we do that, personally.
Yeah, there's another door here, guys. So just we'll tell you what happened, but we're gonna finish what we set out to do. Let's go.
We're telling
open
to
that.
the Aether Pearls. I keep forgetting we have
Yeah.
it. That's really good.
There is a door that has already
More
been opened.
coffin.
In this room, there are a number of coffins. You can also see where a pipe underwater has been ripped out to deliberately flood this room. And finally, you can see that this room was like flattened. This is the source of the devastation. As you've traveled through the water there, you can make a very clear connection. Something inside here basically just created a series of pits and tunneled their way out of here. There are 2 additional open coffins. As well,
What about that coffin? You cut out.
is a jar, so I'm going to mark it here. Because it is like the lid.
Right. It's like
But-
slightly. Right.
It is slightly ajar. That is correct.
Are there
I think we should be
names
very
on any of these
quiet.
coffins? Like any tombstones or anything?
There are, in fact, names on all of the coffins. The ones except for the ones that have been open have been crossed out, like visibly destroyed. And inside them, you can see that there are similar looking angels that have split white halos that have been killed. In all of them, there are these strange looking. You don't know what to like make of it, but it appears like some sort of a black spike that has been impaled into all of their necks, hearts, and wrists.
All right. I don't think we should have the party split for this.
Except the the ajar one is empty, and the ones with no lids are obviously empty. The ajar one is just an empty coffin that has been crossed out. And the open coffins are open.
Yes, I'd like to say to Gruel, I think we should very quickly regroup with the party.
The open coffins, finally, I will read, are
Right.
Matt Fell and Aura Ornaud.
That makes
That
sense. Yeah.
fell.
A Mistfell mummy.
Yeah,
Gruel points at the 3.
this is where he came from.
Vanille says 3 Harbinger live, other die. These are 3 that live. The one that's X'd out, the name's X'd out on that one too?
The name has been X'd out. I will give you this for free because you have taken notes. There is another name of a Harbinger that Vanille noted,
Siberius Faxed, yeah.
who is not here.
Gruel points at that coffin. Must be Siberius Faxed. With that name in mind, am I able to make out through the X, if that's likely what it would have been? Like through the X'd out?
Yes. You can see, like, judging by the size of the lettering, it probably reads Siberius Faxed. In the other room, you can
Alright.
see that there is a storeroom. Like, just looking out. The
Gruel's gonna,
smell
like,
is terrible in here, as there's very clearly rotting food. However, there's also a treasure chest on it.
Gruel
I think
points
we
at the
should-
treasure chest says, do not touch yet.
Yes, we should work our way forward until we can get her onto that door.
Okay, this
Take a
door
right turn
has
back.
already been opened by some other person.
Alright, I think it's just one more door.
Gruel is gonna spend an effort to lead a team action with just us 2 to stealth into this room and not
Okay.
just go all willy-nilly.
Beautiful. Let's see a roll here.
It's 1 out
And
of
is
3.
this controlled?
I suppose so.
Okay.
Because there's nothing going on. I think.
Well, it's how slow you want to go.
Oh, if it's a controlled. Oh yeah, let me see that. It's written somewhere. 1 second.
It is. Failure is 2 clock, partial or success is 1 clock, and a critical success is 0 clock.
And then desperate would be only failure, right? Would be
Yes.
1, right?
Before we go in, I want to say I'm gonna place my torch like on the wall up here.
Okay.
It should be able to mix in well enough with the light from the other braziers to not be too obvious.
I will do a. What's the 1 second? How do I click the ruler? What's the clock at? The clock is at. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7.
I think it. No, it's. Oh, it. Should it be half or half plus 1?
Half plus 1. So it's not that bad.
Okay.
You actually have been very good with dealing with the clock, and the rolls have been on your side as well. The reinforcement card saved you from being like 1 away. So theoretically, it's not even that risky if you'd like to do a controlled.
I am tempted to do desperate. Controlled would mean guaranteed it goes up by 1, right? Even if we succeed, right? So that means basically.
Yes, but on the other
Yeah,
hand,
we've been literally sitting in the dark.
on the other hand, controlled is going to give you better results. So the difference between desperate, risky, and controlled is that the better things are, the worse failure is for you, and the better success is for you, with a critical success on controlled being wild.
Like on desperate, a partial success could suck ass, basically.
Yep.
All right, I'll go controlled. Whatever. Better safe than sorry. We're split up.
Okay. And see, look at how much nicer that is.
Yeah.
All right, so a minor complication occurs, or you have reduced effect, or you end up in a risky position, which will lock you in for the remainder of the dungeon. Your minimum will be risky. How much longer do you think the dungeon is?
I think we heard that there's another floor, like a pipe busted or something.
Mhm.
Wonder what reduced effect would mean in this case. It might just be worth
as
it.
quiet as you
I
talk.
think reduced effect.
Sure. All right, I'll do reduced effect.
Okay. There is a mechanism that can be used to open the door. It is very clearly just a lock, which leads to a chain, and the chain leads to this door right here.
All right. I'll pick the torch back up and walk into the room.
Gruel says, "Can you double check, make sure no trap?"
Yeah, I will check this mechanism for a trap.
Okay.
That would be sense.
Mhm.
God, I'm gonna have to get better at using this. Okay. And is this still risky? Yeah. I don't know if
You can go.
much about. Yeah.
It's up to you. You can go risky or we haven't locked it yet.
Hey,
Nice.
success. All right, you've not advanced the clock. You've done it. There's no traps.
All right. Hey, we're right outside the other door. I think we're gonna open it up now, and I'll pull the lever.
The floor opens up and you fall in a pit.
You hear the door just slams open.
Hey, light.
Oh,
All right.
are you guys just sitting here in the dark?
Yeah.
You have the torch.
You
Gruel
took the
will
only light
spark.
source and left us here for God knows how long.
Gruel will spark up another torch. I think I had like 10 of them, so can get to moving.
All right.
Yeah. So we ran into something. One of the harbingers.
What?
Aura or nod.
Wait, you fought a harbinger?
Did
No,
not
just
fight.
talked.
Seemed
they-
like nice lady. Nice
Is
angel.
she
Wow, I
still
can't
there?
wait to tell
Should
everyone
we?
in town that we defeated a harbinger.
No, did not defeat.
She was there and talked and then disappeared.
Oh,
I think
what'd she
Disintegrated
say?
a harbinger.
Seen her before.
Gruel points to Dougal. Mottfell sleeping
Yes.
chamber coffin here.
Yeah. We also found. What's this one called? Aurafell?
Aura Arnaud and
Aura
Firafel.
Anad. Aura Anad was.
Here, I could paste their
Yeah.
names if you want to see. This is what I wrote. You can ignore that quote from the freaking book. Mottfell, Aura Arnaud, Siberius Facts.
Yeah.
The indentation's just scuffed because I pasted it. But
Yeah, we found Aura Anad was standing there, half existing, half not, over the. There's an open coffin for Firafel. And after Aura Arnaud disappeared, we went a little bit further and found the rest of the coffins of the Harbinger, and one of them was Mottfell's. This is where he came from.
Vanille was right. Three coffin empty. Other coffin dead bodies. All angels. With white halo. Split in half. Right, Paul? They're all split in half, I think?
That's correct.
Yeah.
But Mott's a mummy.
Maybe mummy hide angelic form with bandages.
How do you hide a halo?
Does Mottfell wear a headdress?
Does Mottfell wear a hat all the time?
I mean, Mottfell does always wear a headdress at all times, yes?
Oh, okay. Maybe he...
Could ask him.
Yeah, it's...
Gruel puts a hand on Douglas' shoulder. Maybe being Harbinger, not bad thing. Arnaud seemed good.
That's good. It's just weird. I'm not saying he's evil. It's just
Unusual, yeah. She also mentioned...
You think he's one kind of... You think a person's one kind of ancient, and then you find out they're a different kind of ancient. And that's probably still not as weird as I'm making it out to be, but...
Do you think he's using this fell polymagic for some nefarious means?
No. I think he's likes managing a museum of cursed artifacts. Not even like big curses.
One that just happens to have that statue that spoke to us?
Well, okay. Yes. That
Yeah, could he just be biding time, waiting for a specific artifact to come to him?
Wait, sorry, what's this about talking statue? Sorry, I was in the other room because it was dark in here. I don't know why you guys chose to stay in the dark room, to be honest.
Maybe Gruel like...
I didn't want to go back through the spinning blender of death.
It's easy, you just jump onto the green squares, right? Not that hard.
Gruel scratches her chin and then says, Aura Arnaud said waiting for world to end. Maybe Mottfell also waiting for world to end.
Why would they wait for the world to end? There's nothing to wait for after that, mate. Doesn't make any bloody sense.
They come from otherworld.
Another
They said,
what, from the Feywild?
Gruel shrugs. I don't think they Fey. Would have green halo.
What was her name?
Aura Arnaud.
I met a girl named Nora once. She was alright.
Or not. But yeah, she mentioned a storm at the end of the world, the coming storm to end the world.
Wait, ooh, it's not symmetrical here. Was one of those the Firafel one that was in the other room? Oh, it was. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are there 14 hammers here on the racks, Pog? Like one for each.
Yes, that is the intent. That there are 14 of them. Now there are only 13 aside from the one that you had propped up against the door, which fell down on the ground when you opened the door.
Rule will grab that and try to put it in her pack. We should give to Motfell. I think it belongs to him.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. At the very least, it proves to him we've been here.
Is there any difference between the hammers, or?
They seem to be equivalent.
Okay.
However, the symbol on them begins to make a little bit more sense to you, Gruul, as you pick up the hammer and look over it. You didn't really make heads or tails of what it could mean to have well, let me just draw this out real quick. Let's see. Solid 9. Line width 6.
It's a moon. Horn. Crab
Dougal,
claw.
get out of the way.
You're blocking the design.
Also,
Oh,
Wu-Tang
it's
symbol.
it's an oil. No, it's an oil symbol. I think it's specifically the one that exists in the Lego universe. That's the oil company logo.
No, what you do is you fix the outer
gonna look that
circle
up.
and then you color it red, white, blue, and then you have the Pepsi logo.
So this, as you look at it, looks very similar to the split halo that Aura or Naud had.
Ah, okay. Gruul speaks up and points at the hammers. If you want treasure, all these hammers belong to special spacefaring people named Harbinger.
Hey, alright, that's very good. You think they're magic? You just start
Don't
shoving them in a bag of holding. Right on.
You know what? Sure. That's honestly fine.
Point says he gets treasure, so
Yeah, no, that was the agreement.
He gets first
Sorry,
choice.
I was looking at something else. What is he?
He just took all the
Making
hammers.
all the hammers.
Oh
I-
yeah, go ahead.
But Point, I can keep this one, right? It belongs.
I mean, that's
to
what
Yeah.
I would do. If
Oh,
this were
yeah,
Morrowind,
sure. I mean,
because they
there's a lot of hammers there. I mean, there's only
but they're all slightly different, so they're all unique. So we should take them all.
3 of us in our organization, so. Which reminds me, we should probably start recruiting sometime soon.
That
Oh,
would probably help, yes.
Yeah, do you want to join my organization? We're planning a coup in Daxted.
We're kind of busy.
Oh, alright. Maybe next campaign then.
There's more that we went through, but we wanted to get to the door to meet up with you before we check
Well-
it out. I saw another hatch going down.
Oh boy. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Hold on, should we eat some of those bodies and get their powers?
No. Why?
Oh, you know what? Because we've both Zephyr and Oven have been reading this manga called Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, I love that
And
one.
so-
Mate, so here's the thing. These things are angels, right?
Oh.
Alright, Dibs. He just goes
no.
in and starts taking the halos.
No, Gruul tries to stop.
Yeah, I wanna-
Mate, we had a
Wait,
deal.
These tomb should not loot tomb.
Mate, they're dead. They don't need them.
They're dead and
I
don't
underwater.
think-
It is.
I don't think they're totally dead.
It's like taking their skin. Their halo.
Well, okay, let's be honest here, right?
Yeah,
You've
is it a
gone
body part?
Would you
You've-
take Tutherian soldier skin upstairs? No,
I
you would
mean,
not.
It's
well,
like
powerful.
taking a scalp.
well, hold on. That's a different thing, mate. These are angels. These are monsters. Kinda, sorta. Look, that's not the point. These halos are powerful magic reagents that have been used by Bolzaean crusaders for literally thousands of years to power themselves up. you can use these halos as a power source. Now, these are special halos. They're white or something. That's got to be worth a pretty penny if we, don't use them ourselves. It's a valuable resource and is not to be squandered. And we had a deal. I've got first choice of all the loot. For example, if you defeat a dragon, you take its scales and you make dragon scale armor. If you defeat a fallen angel, you take its halo. Now, here, there's a lot of halos, mate.
They're not fallen. We don't know. We don't know.
I don't know what they are, but I do know they're valuable.
This was the agreement.
Yeah, but can I have one?
Sure, you can have one, actually. That's reasonable.
Not good idea.
It's a great idea. I already have, 2 cloaks of... oh, wait, I'm not supposed to remind you of that stuff.
Alright, so Point goes in, he grabs the halo, and he puts his, foot on the body and begins to shove, and you hear, a loud popping sound as it comes out, and then he disappears.
Wait, what?
Oh, shit. Girl's gonna look inside the coffin.
I look around for any brass balls.
Is the halo still there?
The halo's gone.
What the fuck? So he left with it. There's no way to chase him. Where'd he go?
I mean, maybe if we take our own halo, we'll go to the same place he went.
Ugh. Can't leave Point
Wait,
behind.
so how did he disappear again? What
He pulled the
happened?
halo off, and you remove an angel's halo, it pops off. You hear a sound.
Mhm.
So you hear a pop sound as he pulls the halo off, and he's gone.
He
Disappeared.
Are you just invisible? Point?
If
If you're
Douglas,
playing a trick on us is not very fun.
Douglas,
Yeah.
what do you know? Should we take Halo save Point?
Okay, one second.
Hold on, have you ever heard of this before?
Hey, everyone. Do you remember that minor complication? That reduced effect?
Uh-oh.
Which one?
It was just reduced.
It was a reduced effect. The reduced effect while sneaking is that the hatch is opening up. And you hear, as the hatch...
We got company, maybe. Maybe that's Point.
I
Hey,
don't.
Point.
Phil, so you've come to finish the job.
Oh,
Shit.
That's not.
Close the door, hide. No, just kidding.
That's not Point.
And that's where we'll end our session.
Oh no. Poor
Point, your voice has become much more ominous.
Everyone, what are we calling this?
Meat grinder.
Is it? Was it a meat? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it was. It's literally a meat. It was a
Yeah.
blender, a meat grinder blender.
No, now I think of it, why didn't the blended up corpses keep the pressure plates down and keep it blending forever?
They're designed not to.
Not
yeah.
wait.
I think meat grinder is a better one than what I'm about to say. Because what I have to say only applies to the last 30 seconds, but pointless would be a funny one.
Oh, that's really good. No, I like that. People are gonna think it's like a filler episode or something, and then they no, it just means Point's gone.
Yeah.
A
I
new
like-
blend of pointless.
I kind of like meat grinder though, just because that's a bigger part of the episode.
That's
But
true.
I will go with what you guys pick. That is
I
just the
prefer
joke that came to my
descriptives.
brain.
Meat grinder is going to be like, oh, that's the one that had the blender in it.
Yeah.
Or lots of
Yeah.
fighting or something.
And also, Point is not a major character in the Aether Pilgrims campaign, as you've explicitly declined his request.
Is he dead though? I hope not. I mean, we gotta.
Oh, no.
Hey, he's
No.
gone. We get the loot now.
We gotta take a Halo.
You
and
do
follow him.
at the loot. I mean, you can grab the halo and follow him. Of course, that is assuming that all the halos go to the right places. Who knows? They're all different angels.
Ah, shit.
You don't know where these go. It's up to you. I mean, there is like a harbinger that's pissed off exploring outside there, so you have 2 weeks to think about it. Anyways, let's take a look at the ideals here. And they'll start with Gruel.
So 1 XP for combat, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. That puts me to level 2. Feels good, man.
Mhm.
Okay. So there's 1 XP for combat, and then I address challenges with compassion, wisdom, or perseverance, like such heritage, background, beliefs from actions, help protect nature or destruction. Maybe a couple of these when we're talking to Aura, or also with Point. I think Gruel would really like to go to where Point went, but
Mhm.
want to know
I'm
from Dougal if that would actually take us.
I'm seeing one ideal for sure.
Cool.
I don't think you help protect nature, but that's one. You're level
Yeah,
2. And now Zephyr.
Yes.
1
One for
XP.
combat. I'm not sure about my ideals. I address challenges with patience, wisdom, or experience. I guess I don't know, navigating the trap the first time? Nah.
Honestly, like your ideals are just not good for dungeon exploration, and I think that's just
Yeah.
like that it is what it is.
And yeah, they're gonna change eventually.
Yeah, they're gonna
when I
change next
finally
downtime.
change my bond.
Anyways, Oven.
1 for combat.
Mhm.
Ideals. I address challenges with strength, leadership, or force. I mean, I used force to stop the thing, but I don't know. Express my heritage, background, or beliefs through my actions. Did you learn anything about Elvin? I don't know if you did.
I think you did address challenges with leadership or force when you stepped forward to tank the blender, like for the group. Yes.
Fair. Okay. Didn't back down face with challenge. You know, that one just seems way too generic. Like I almost think we should change it, but
Something to think about. I mean, we will be changing like the bonds, or not the bonds, but the ideals like periodically because the characters are going to evolve dramatically as the campaign goes on.
true.
I mean, they already have begun evolving. Speaking of characters evolving, Dougal.
Okay, address challenges with investigation, intuition, and planning. Like, I'm not going to do that for every time I open something, but I feel like using stick to get that
Yeah.
chest open is a good, clever moment for that.
Yeah, definitely.
Otherwise, overcame inherent self-doubt to express myself. I don't think so. But expressed heritage and background through word and action. I don't know that this has quite come to the point of it yet, but I do feel like it's eventually how he brings this up to Mott and deals with that is going to be something, but
Yeah.
I don't know that this qualifies yet.
This is not yet. You're just planning to do something that will qualify.
Yep. Okay. So that'll be 2 total, which gets me to 5. I get a thing.
Nice.
All right.
This will be useful on account of the fact that you may end up handling Siberia's fact.
I'll just trap him in a corner.
And I forgot to pick a bond power, but one that I think is going to be appropriate given some events of this session and useful is I'm going to take Midnight Eyes. Dougal can now see in the dark, and his study and sense actions get increased effect in darkness.
Oh.
So
Nice.
he's learned the dark vision spell because he doesn't want to be sitting in a dark room while the torch is somewhere else anymore.
Nice.
Really, the torch should have gone out anyways because I went underwater.
You
Yeah.
relit it. Torches work like that.
All right. We won't see you next week, but we'll see you the week after. Thanks to everyone for coming. Make sure if you said anything in the chat, be sure to fill out your stamp cards. Again, if you get 10 stamps, you do get a mint frog. So that's the new promo we're doing.
Does that mint is in perfect condition or mint is in flavor?
All right. Anyways,
Both.
I've got to go, everyone.